Good
I almost
evening.
just lost it.
What?
I like just
You almost lost
watching
the
you
whole
whistle
thing?
with it. I almost just crossed
That
the
would
room.
stop
would've been bad.
everything.
What if you drop? Because isn't that like a purple
Yeah, it's great.
liquid? Oh no. On your white shirt. Oh dear. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Clap, 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 clap.
Great to see you all. We're changing it up a bit from last week and the week before. We're still conducting one-shots, but tonight is going to be Good Society, a Jane Austen RPG by Storybrewers Roleplaying.
You're so accomplished. An accomplished RPG.
I am the facilitator,
Oh.
Elizabeth. You can call me Liz.
Feel it.
Oh my gracious!
Clap,
Oh,
clap, clap, clap,
Erwin.
clap, clap, clap. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Oh, you hit the goob and soul
five.
search.
The 5.
We have Scott.
Hello.
We have special guest Jess.
Hello.
We have Kate.
Hi.
And we have John, who is once again a player.
Good evening.
Ooh.
I'm always a player.
The equipment, it's gone. Well,
What's the alert?
the only other introductions, of course, that we have to make, aside from our characters,
Oh,
are our mods, Aragorn and Crosshair.
Very good.
I
Very
did
good,
it this
buddy.
time.
Yay!
The most debonair of the lot.
Oh, and thank you.
It's the
Happy.
return of Happy Gilmore.
It looks
Oh.
so good, that alert,
It
though.
does, doesn't it?
Fuck yes.
What alert?
You threw in my hack.
I'm not used to seeing.
Not seeing.
What are you talking about?
So, what are we playing tonight? Good Society!
Society!
It's a Jane Austen RPG.
Oh.
Yeah! It's a Jane Austen RPG, which at its core is about collaborating with some fine individuals to write a story.
Thank you, Pook.
Oh, Pook, thank you so much.
Choo choo.
The Crosshair has just kindly posted a Pinterest board, which are a bunch of inspirational images and photos for the game tonight. So feel free to visit it, get yourself in the mindset of Austen.
Thank you, weirdness. And Kung Fu Fighters. Oh my gosh. Oh boy.
Oh my
Clap,
gosh.
clap, clap, clap. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
People are so nice.
I know.
Receiving
How do you
alms.
handle it? Can't handle it.
Thank
So,
you.
we're collaborating to write a story. And we have a lot of story potentially to get through tonight. So we're gonna get started really quickly. As the facilitator of tonight's game, I essentially serve as a referee / stage manager. So I'll manage scene lengths, I'll adjudicate decisions, and I'll play additional characters as required. There are different chapters of play involved in this system. Some elements we have condensed or cut entirely for time purposes. The fact that we're running a one-shot rather than a longer campaign, it was to simplify things, and we'll explain additional mechanics as we go. We do have our usual safety cards. Good Society is very explicit about the importance of consent, and they have an X card system. We are using our usual red, yellow, green system. So, green means everything is great, even if my character seems otherwise, and I'm enthusiastically consenting to continue. Yellow, pause. I need to make the table aware of something. Red, I am not okay. The game needs to stop, and we are only going to pick up play again when the person who showed the red card gives it a go-ahead. Chat, you do not have cards, but you do have options. You can message me, make sure to whisper at RPGClinic. Note that there is a chance that Scott in particular might see because he's sitting right next to me. You can also message our beloved and illustrious mods, Aragorn and Crosshair, and they will pass along your feedback anonymously if you wish. And last but not least, you can, of course, leave the stream. We love to have you here, and we hate to see you go, but your safety is the most important thing. So keep yourself safe. Well, there's nothing left to do but intro our game and our setting and our characters.
So this is Regency England?
Oh, no.
Apologies.
So this is Regency England. This is the early 1800s. Our game focuses around the Maple Grove estate, which is located near the village of Habershire. This is a fictional village. Another notable estate that is not quite as grand as Maple Grove, but still very well situated, is called Elderberry Ridge. And our crew of major characters are all going to be weaving in and out of these different settings. Before we introduce them, I just want to make a note about gender. Traditional gender roles are not a thing in this game. Cis, trans, non-binary folks can marry, own property, belong to any occupation. Having said that, society favors monogamous partnerships, but they are not heteronormative. Something to know about the particular game that we will be playing tonight. And now, I want to meet these characters.
Oh.
So shall we begin? Major characters only to start?
Yeah.
With Scott.
You want to start here?
Yes.
Hello, I'll be playing Patrick Beaumont. He is a tutor who lives at Maple Grove, and he he teaches or tutors the two children, young people at Maple Grove, who will introduce themselves, but Lord Elton and the young Edith as well. Is there anything more I want to say about Patrick? Patrick believes that there are people who, the more you do for them, the less they'll do for themselves. So perhaps he wants to take some matters into his own hands. I think that's all I really want to say.
Maybe he
Patrick.
thinks he knows best in some situations.
Perhaps he does.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott.
That's me.
Jess?
Yes. So I will be playing Lavinia Varney, who is 21 years old. She has recently moved to town to live with her aunt Christine Varney. She is someone who believes a large income is the best recipe for happiness I ever heard of. So whatever that means, we'll find out. She lives at Elderberry Ridge. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
And could we also, because I neglected to mention, could you please give your major character's pronouns, Scott and then
He,
Jess?
him, for
Yes.
Patrick.
And she, her, for Lavinia.
All right. John, would you like to go next?
I will be playing Lord Elton Starling, he, him. Lord Elton is, at the young age of 21, he knows two things. The first is that love is the most important element of a marriage for him, no matter what anyone else says. But also that love can be fleeting, and so to have as many options as possible would be most prudent.
Oh, prudent. Okay. Prudent.
Amazing.
Very
Kate?
good.
I will be playing Kit Alexander, they, them. I am in the care of my aunt, Molly Alexander, after the loss of my parents at sea. And we are a family of new money, so we do not have any title to go with it. We are simply common folk who rose through industry, and by we I mean my aunt and uncle. Kit prefers to read.
Amazing. So we're going to go around the circle again now because everybody is also playing a connection for somebody else. This will become clear, but essentially you're playing a supporting role in somebody else's story. The role of connections is to create conflict and drama for the major characters. Scott, would you like to start?
Absolutely. The connection I'm playing has already been named, actually. Kit's foster mother, Molly Alexander, who, rose from relatively humble origins to become one of the wealthiest people in Habershire.
Habershire.
Habershire. Yeah.
Jess?
Yes, so I will be playing a connection of John's. Edith Starling, Elton's younger sister. She is 18 and has recently, I guess, come out to society. She absolutely idolizes her big brother because he once saved her from drowning.
Oh, wow.
Important detail.
Wow, Elton.
That's...
I will also be playing Christine Varney, who is Lavinia's aunt. She is the sort of person who absolutely dotes on Lavinia. At the same time, perhaps the reason that she does so is because of an overwhelming sense of pity.
We wonder why.
Yes, we do, don't we? Oh, no, I don't know. I must know.
And I am playing Caroline Starling, who is the mother of Elton and Edith, and also has a good, trustful relationship with Patrick.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody in chat or any of the players have any questions before we get started, now is the time. Or if there was anything you neglected to say in your introduction that you want to throw out there, but otherwise we're gonna get started. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And I'll be
Chamber
playing Jack
music.
Bell.
This is the longest.
Oh,
day of
how
my
are
life.
we all so dapper? And also, Kung Fu Fenris did want to particularly draw attention to your eyeliner, John.
One
'Cause
day at a
Kung Fu
time,
Fenris
Kung Fu
adores it.
Fenris. One day at a time is how we are so dapper. Makes sense.
That's motor. Here we go. The very first chapter that we are undertaking is called... Oh, is there any method to indicate which of the two characters someone is speaking as? We're going to do our best to ensure that no scene contains both characters. So at the beginning of a scene, it should be pretty clear who somebody's playing. Also, we're actors, so I think we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
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 Without further ado. We begin, as so many Jane Austen novels have occurring halfway, because they have more time than we do.
Sorry.
We begin with a grand ball held at Maple Grove Estate and hosted by Lady Caroline Starling. Would Lady Caroline like to give any details about the ball in particular?
This is one of her regular balls that is hosted in order to raise money for animal welfare. It is a cause very dear to her life. She is very fond of animals, and she has a favorite dog named Patty. But the purpose of this ball is also to, of course, gather the gentry of the region, and she particularly would like to introduce Lavinia Varney, who is new to town, and will be the first time she's attending one of these balls.
Ah, all right. So I would like to know, is everybody invited? Anyone who's anyone is
Anyone
in
who's
attendance?
anyone of any substance.
Can I also
Or
come, please?
consequence.
Of course.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
always welcome at our home.
Thank you.
Anyone who she believes could contribute towards animal welfare, of course.
People who move well in her drawing room, people who are good conversationalists with
Yes.
many accomplishments.
Yes.
How does everyone arrive at Maple Grove that evening, and what are you wearing?
Well, I live there, so I've already arrived, but I'm wearing my finest. And I come downstairs. I try not to draw too much attention to myself as I enter the ballroom and see if I can spy anyone I know. I'm more than happy to meet new people, but I don't want to overtake the party. It's not intended for me, after all.
Would you say that you try to be a bit of a wallflower, or do you like moving about the room and engaging as much conversation
I like
as
to engage
possible?
conversation. I like to duck in and out of conversation, see what I can learn.
All right. How about Lavinia?
Yes, so Lavinia is one to set trends, not follow them.
Okay.
She has come today wearing a blue and white striped dress with a large hat. It's far larger than any hat should be, and yet somehow she's pulling it off. It is one she has made herself.
She made a hat.
She made a hat. And she's accompanied by her aunt as well.
Ah.
By horse and carriage.
Ooh. Because you see, they yes, live at Elderberry Ridge, the neighboring estate.
Yes.
All right, and how about Kit first?
Kit will arrive by carriage, and is wearing an evening coat over a ball gown.
Amazing. And Lord Elton, do you arrive early, fashionably late, right on time? Do you
I live
descend
here.
the staircase in great aplomb?
No, I believe that Elton, dressed in his tails, would arrive early because he likes to stake out the spot close to the fireplace, where he engages in polite conversation, but mostly keeps a little bit to himself, every once in a while shyly glancing around the room.
That's so sweet. The beginning part of this ball is essentially a cocktail hour. So people are circulating in conversation, holding glasses of port or sherry or wine, and there is dancing. A small group of merry young people start forming lines in the middle of the room. Do any of you join or are seeking out a partner? You all have dance cards, by the way, to mark down the name of
okay.
who will be
was like, are they
your
already
partner for the dances.
Kit will make a point of requesting a dance with the young lord and young lady of the house.
Ah. All right, and
But
how?
understanding that she, of course, shouldn't be first on their dance card.
Okay, so how do they respond to Miss Alexander's invitation?
Edith is more than happy to dance.
I love it. Good.
Of course, Miss Alexander, I'd be happy to dance with you if that's all right.
Of course. Thank you.
I need a moment to speak to my friend Patrick, though.
Of course.
If you don't mind.
See you later.
Yes, of course.
I look up from the conversation I'm having. Oh, excuse me. Lord Elton.
I'm not certain that I anticipated everyone arriving looking so fine.
It's a ball, Lord Elton. What did you expect?
I've just been taken for a dance. And, well, I was just wondering whether it was the sort of thing that you would encourage multiple dances with multiple people, or whether I should be focusing solely on one, or whether it would be seen as untowards if I did not make an effort to dance with everyone who arrived.
Lord Elton, I will give you 2 pieces of advice, and I urge you to heed them both, but most importantly, heed the second. Is that understood?
Of course, Patrick. You know that I'll listen to anything.
All right. My first piece of advice is that it is important, as a young master such as yourself, to make a good impression with as many people as possible. Let that inform how many individuals you choose to dance with. My
Right.
second piece of advice for you, and as I mentioned, this is more important. Listen to what's in here. And I touch his heart. That is more important than anything I can tell you.
All right. But how do I know what it says? Sometimes it feels like my heart is speaking a foreign language.
Well, your Italian has been coming along quite nicely. That is the language of love, after all. Wouldn't you say?
Grazie.
Excuse me, I just had a small something. I don't. Lord Elton, is there anyone here that particularly catches your fancy? I ask out of curiosity, of course, not anything untoward. I would never mean to presume.
There may be someone, yes, Oh, but it's so hard to know.
It is. I've always found, Lord Elton, and I think it varies from person to person, that the murmurings of the heart can be faint, and sometimes loud music, raucous laughter, and perhaps even food and drink can drown it out. Therefore, it is important to seek out solitude with as few people as possible so that you can really hear what it's trying to tell you. And of course, I'll always be here to guide you as well.
Sometimes it feels like you're the only one who makes sense.
No, I do my best. There are a few things I've never quite mastered, though. I glance over at Lavinia, who's on the other side of the room, and then away to somebody else.
Who's that?
Oh, the young Miss Varney. I don't know much about her, if I'm being honest.
I suppose it's no matter. It's not as if I've been asked to dance with her just yet.
Exactly, Lord Elton, just yet. You must understand.
Yes?
I'm sure you do. I'm
There's
sorry
so
to
much I don't understand,
No,
Patrick.
Lord Ellen. Ellen? Who? Lord Elton.
Just between the two of us, Ellen is fine.
Your position here at Maple Grove makes you very attractive to many, and I must urge some degree of caution. There may be those who see themselves here at Maple Grove and do not see themselves with you wherever you choose to go. Does that make sense?
I'm sure Mother would be very happy.
But Mother's happiness is not your happiness.
Mother's happiness is what my very peerage depends on.
Don't I know it? Sometimes, between you and me, Lord Elton, sometimes I wish I had been born into title or wealth just to know what it was like.
Oh, Patrick.
I have no responsibilities in that direction, you see.
You're perfect just the way you are. And with that, I'm going to bite my lip slightly, and then I'm just going to head back into the room and try to stand and look inviting.
So you're trying to solicit more invitations, or are you approaching anybody yourself?
Hello.
I'll leave myself open. Patrick did say that it was important, but I can't quite bring myself to approach others right now.
And you would also know, Lord Elton, from your mother giving you lots of tips before this ball, that if you dance with anybody for 2 consecutive dances or more, that's showing a serious attachment with that person.
Yes.
And everyone would notice. That's quite a statement to make.
I've got one on my list. I have one. One.
I would like to spend some time. I love to meet new people, and I will be introducing myself. It's a bit, I feel like it might be a bit of a faux pas to kind of just have the tutor running up to people being like, hello, my name is, but he's very eager to meet people.
Okay.
And he's especially eager, anyone who appears to be his age or younger, he's going to mention that Lord Elton's dance card is not yet full. He's going to see if he can try to secure some dances for the
You
young
mean he's
master.
available? He might say yes if I asked him.
I imagine he would.
Oh, I'd love that most of all.
Of course. Well,
And Ellis
oh, Ellis. I was going to say Anne. Yeah, sure.
scutters across the room to inquire after a dance with Lord Starling. What is Lavinia doing at this time?
Lavinia is also making herself known to anyone who will speak to her. In one corner of the room, she would also like to notice that Patrick is in the room.
What does she think when she notices him?
It's more of a trying to catch his gaze for a moment and then glancing away.
I see. Well, Lavinia certainly has a number of people who are circling around her because she was called out by the Countess, so she must be someone of great importance at this party tonight. So people are trying to make it known that they're speaking with you. But Patrick can notice if he wishes.
I've noticed. To be honest, I'm not quite sure how to bring myself to find my way over there, but I will. I will. And we will do so now. I'll make my way over to you.
Well, I mean,
And just
there's a lot of people here. I'm sure you could slip out of this main room if you wanted to speak privately.
yeah, I'll just take what seems to be maybe a detour around the ballroom to find my way, not through the crush of people, but outside. But I'll end up sort of in a smaller chamber just on the other side of the ballroom, and wait patiently and kind of like peer down the hall to see if Lavinia's there.
Lavinia is going to kindly hand her large hat off to someone to hang up for her.
All right.
So she's a little bit less noticeable, and she'll slip out when she's able.
Go on and have fun.
Thank you, good sir.
I thought it was your aunt.
Oh, I didn't realize I was talking to my aunt again. I forgot.
She's here.
Thank you, Aunt Christine. I'll just take a tour around.
Of course. Just make sure that you have fun, dear.
I will, thank you.
Oh,
You can wear it if you like.
I don't think I would do it justice.
Oh, are you kidding me? It looks very fetching on you. Positively charming. And while her aunt is busy with the hat, she's going to sneak away.
Nice.
Yep.
Patrick.
Miss Varney,
Yes.
it's I can't. I heard the news that you had come to town, but I could scarcely believe it. Must be another Lavinia Varney, I thought to myself.
Oh, like there's any other.
It's a good point. Have you seen the grounds here at Maple Grove?
Not yet, no.
Maple Grove?
Yep, Maple
Neale,
Grove. No.
Perhaps you'd like to take a brief tour. It's still warm out in the garden.
Yes, all right.
And I'll lead the way out into the garden where the music has dimmed somewhat inside. And I don't
I
think
imagine
there's
there's
anyone
still.
out there. Oh, no, maybe
No?
there are people there. Yes, actually, that would be rather untoward if there weren't, right? Be a little like, goodness gracious.
Well, yes. Are
Patrick.
you two trying specifically to sneak away without a chaperone? In which case, it's very important that nobody see you. Or that would be a little bit scandalous.
I don't think so.
No.
But okay.
So you don't mind if there are a few other people who see you speaking to each other?
Right.
No.
Okay, good.
Vinia, I'm sorry that my words seem caught in my throat. It's been so long since.
Yes, it has. Are you well?
I am. I had a chance to travel, as I had always dreamed. And then I returned and came here to Havershire, where I was able to secure employment as a tutor, here at Maple Grove, as you know, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's been very rewarding working with the young lord and the young lady.
Well, that's good. I'm glad things have worked out well for you.
Are you here in Havershire by yourself?
Yes.
I see.
My family did not come with me.
You'll have to pardon my forwardness, but we're old friends. Why?
You can't tell me that. It's no matter. Really.
Of course. Of course. I had the.
They just couldn't make it.
Oh yes, I
Yeah.
understand.
Couldn't come. Too busy at home.
Commitments.
Lots of things to do. Lots of commitments.
Responsibilities.
Yes.
I know about
yes.
those as well.
Yes.
I had the pleasure of meeting your aunt in Havershire not too many days ago.
Yes.
She's lovely.
She is. She's quite lovely. Took me right in.
Do you have any plans here? You're planning on staying a while?
At least for the winter.
I think Maple Grove is beautiful in the winter. I can't say much for the town of Habershire during the season. It's a little bleak, if I'm being honest. But I'm sure Elderberry Ridge is...
It's quite marvelous. It's quite something.
So during this this pause, we're going to shift attention back over to Kit. And when we come back to you two, you can still be conversing if you wish. What are you up to, Kit?
Making my introductions, inquiring after folks' families,
Okay.
and generally doing my best to follow proper etiquette around speaking to most of the folks present, though Kit generally tries to avoid speaking to Caroline, Lady Caroline.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Would you say that it's time for Kit's dance?
I think that would be appropriate.
Miss Alexander.
Lord Starling.
Oh boy.
And you can speak while you dance or dance in silence. It
No, I
depends on
think I'm
whether or
gonna
not you're trying to
We're looking in through the window and I'm getting a little teary-eyed.
You've been well?
Was enough. And you? You seem nervous.
Nervous? Why, no. Of course not. Patrick has been taking me on some quite interesting field trips
Oh, excellent.
so that I may learn more about the countryside and about nature surrounding. He says that it's only proper to learn Italian while standing next to a river.
Babbling brook,
Interesting. I was never so lucky.
Lucky to spend time with Patrick. He's
To spend time learning Italian by a river. I've
quite
only
special as
been
long as you have the right tutor.
taught in French and Latin, of course.
Latin never quite took a liking to me. Perhaps I simply must try harder. There's a lot of things that I could simply try harder.
How much longer?
You know that Mother has other ideas.
Yes. But you've always said that you prefer love over station.
She doesn't know, Kit.
I know. And then I curtsy / bow. And the song?
A little bit of both.
Go off to...
All right, so now we're back to Lavinia and Patrick. Are you still in the gardens, or have you?
I'm still taking in the air, the fresh air. Yeah, indeed.
So tell me about Lord Elton, Lord Starling.
Oh, he's a very refined young gentleman, as one would expect, of course. The young Earl is quite accomplished, and while I do not believe it is a defect of his character, I know some people are less thrilled that he is a little reserved. Although, between you and me, he's only reserved because he is nervous, making a mistake. And I think that one day he will meet someone who will make him feel as if he can make no mistakes. You understand?
Yes, of course. I mean, his mother likely wants him to marry of his station.
I'm no gossip, Lavinia. But yes, his mother has intentions for him. It's difficult. There are not many people here in Havishire who can match his title or his wealth, frankly. There are some, but...
For now.
For now, yes. Things change.
Yes.
The seasons change. I gesture to the landscape.
Do you pick up a leaf that's sort of fallen off of one of the nearby trees to really drive home your point?
Of course.
Good.
The maples for which the grove is named. They have the most beautiful colors in the fall. I hope you'll be able to... it's the autumn now. What season?
No,
is it?
we're at end of summer.
Oh, fantastic.
This is a premature leaf drop.
The leaf drop, yes, of course. I ripped it off the tree.
Oh my god.
Welcome to fall.
Sometimes you just need to help
Population
things
you.
along.
If I'm being honest, Lavinia, I am surprised that you are here. This seems like, it seems like a small town for you. Someone who can rise to any occasion.
That's very kind.
Mm.
I figured I would make a name for myself.
Good place to do it. There are only a few names made so far.
I started by taking my aunt's last name,
Ah, yes, of
as
course.
you may have noticed.
I have. I think it suits you. I
Thank
think it would suit. I would think it would suit many a young lady.
Shall we go back inside?
We shall. And as I turn, I just quickly turn back. If you ever need anyone to show you around, or make any introductions, or anything you need, Miss Varney.
I have one request.
Yes.
Can you... The nature of my family, you know them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind keeping it to yourself?
This I can do.
Thank you.
Everyone deserves a clean slate.
Thank you.
We've missed some of the dances. We must be
Yes,
back.
let's get back inside.
When they come in, I want to make sure to look up and the two of them entering, and then perhaps it's a little too bold, so I might look back into the fire for a moment and
Gather your strength.
a nip of courage.
I would like to introduce Miss Varney and Lord Ilton. Is that wild? That's pretty
That's
wild.
not wild.
It's fine. I'm doing
You
it.
know both of them. I think that's fine.
Whatever, man.
You're already invited to this ball, so like.
Yes. You can't ruin it any more than you already have by being here. No, I'm just kidding. So I'll kind of gently guide us towards the fireplace to warm up after being out in the night air, which was already warm, I suppose. Lord Elton, are you well?
Patrick, yes. Hello.
Lord Elton, pleased to make your acquaintance.
And you are?
Lavinia Varney. Varney.
Barney.
I don't know how to say my own name.
It's new to you, I understand.
Lavinia. It is good to see a new face around here. And
you.
where are you from?
Oh, here and there.
Yes, aren't we all?
She's recently moved to Elderberry Ridge.
Yes.
Elderberry Ridge. Oh, it's marvelous over there. I remember being young and running quite close to the bushes. And I used to every once in a while wonder, but Mother always told me that perhaps berries are poisonous and that I shouldn't touch them.
The Lady Starling is very concerned about the berries that grow in this wilderness.
Right. Well, one can never be too cautious.
I'm sure they only cultivate berries that can be eaten there.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes I wonder if the caution should be thrown to the wind.
At that note, a servant comes in and whispers to her ladyship that dinner is served, so she can lead the way into the dining room.
Oh, to the Dowager Countess?
Yes, to Lady Caroline Starling.
Okay.
So of course they open the doors to the next room, and I will take the hand of one of the distinguished guests, or the elbow of one of the distinguished guests, and we will walk into the dining hall and take my seat at the head of the table.
Perfect. Yes. Lady Caroline Starling is seated at the head of the table, and this is quite a large gathering of people. So, I mean, if you want to try to make it so that you sit next to someone in particular, I will allow you to spend a resolve token to do so.
Because otherwise, there are certain seating arrangements which she had in mind.
Exactly.
So she has seated Lavinia next to Patrick.
Is that what you wanted, Patrick?
She is roughly at the
Waiting.
center of the length of the table, and so that puts him a little further from the head of the table.
I think I need Patrick to be a little closer in case I need advice. So I'm gonna.
I will allow you to give that resolve token to Kate.
Okay.
And
that
she
will
will
go to
accept it
Caroline.
if she's going to take
I
that.
accept that, but if it means that you shifted the name cards yourself at some point.
Ooh. So everybody, we're going to pause for a second because this is called resolve tokens. Resolve tokens are essentially currency
you hold on to that for a
that
moment?
allows you to barter with each other and with the facilitator to affect the story in a dramatic way. So in this case, who Lord Starling sits next to at dinner could have big repercussions. So John would like Lord Elton to sit next to Patrick and is entered a negotiation with Kate, who is playing the person who created the seating arrangements. Kate has accepted, but with conditions. The condition being, fine, but Lord Elton needs to have switched the name tags himself. Been a little devious about it.
Okay, but he also put Lavinia next to him as well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Caroline gets the token.
spend mine.
And the
I
tokens.
will have done this. That's why I came down early.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was to make sure that I could swap the dinner plates.
Yeah, very well, very well, very well. So,
And I'll make sure that I want to make sure also that Kit is sitting across.
Kate, are you okay with all this?
Yes.
So essentially, I put myself right in the middle between Patrick and Lavinia with Kit across the
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know,
Yes.
monologue token here. What is monologue tokens, by the way, are a different type of token that you can play to find out what a major character is thinking at any given moment. What was going through Lord Elton's head as he sat down, looked to his left and right, and straight across?
Absolutely incredible.
To my left, a most intriguing person, someone who I've never met, and yet at the same time, I've heard her name whispered here and there as someone who might be worth getting to know. A self-starter, someone who really knows how to make it in today's world. To my right, my most trusted friend, the person who perhaps more than anyone else, even more than my own mother, has taught me more about life, living, and knowledge, and perhaps even more than that. And across from me is Kit, who I met several years ago in London and fell in love. It would be improper to keep one's fiancée too far away at dinner, even if no one else knew it was happening.
And dinner begins. Dinner is served. It's usually expected that good conversationalists would be sprinkled throughout the table to keep things lively and merry. Yes.
May I spend a resolve token
Of course you may,
to
Patrick.
somewhat impact the fact that because of Lord Elton's switching of places,
Yeah?
there is not a lack of conversationalists at our end of the table, but in our
Bubble?
trio quad, it must fall to Lavinia to take the lead on conversation. Is that something that you will accept?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
accept that.
Lavinia, what do you speak of at dinner?
Well, I can't wait to see what everyone's talents are this evening.
Talents. What? Miss Alexander is quite the dancer.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Quite the dancer.
Have you never had the opportunity to dance with?
No, unfortunately, I've not.
Well, there will be more dancing to be had here in Hampshire. We quite often have balls.
Oh, I'm sure there will.
I hope you get a lively number with her. Him, them.
Them.
Sorry.
All right.
Yes, I guess it hasn't been the first time I've seen you dance.
No, I do
Truth
recall
be told.
we're at a ball together.
Yes, must have been ages ago now.
I haven't heard about this.
Do you slurp?
Yeah, he doesn't know. It wasn't so improper. When he
You're
was
right, it
traveling
wasn't so
abroad, right?
improper. Yeah.
When he was traveling abroad,
Alright.
so now he's just kind of, it's a habit of his.
Okay.
Yes, we were both in attendance at a ball in insert irrelevant.
Say
nearby.
Bath.
In Bath.
I'm,
Ball in Bath.
I'm so pleased to hear that the two of you are great friends.
Yes.
I'm afraid we hadn't had much chance to converse. We weren't seated next to each other like we are today.
I'm so happy that it's worked out then.
Uh-huh. Very pleased.
Very happy to see you here again.
Yes, it's so lovely to see your face. Absolutely lovely.
And do I recall that you have an interest in textiles?
Yes. Afraid your aunt is not the only one. Or your foster
Nothing
mother,
like some
rather.
hearty competition.
This is
I don't think
very
it'll
well.
be that competitive.
And so, are there any particular talents that we can look forward to enjoying from you this evening?
Oh, yes, several.
Several.
Yes, if I do say so myself.
I have heard it spoken that Miss Varney here is quite accomplished.
Oh, really?
Thank you, Patrick.
Are the two of you acquainted?
We met long ago.
Yes, long ago.
How lovely to
Mm.
be amongst friends.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we'll have to make sure that the two of you get to see each other more often now.
I gotta do it. I gotta ask
Yeah.
what if Miss Alexander is thinking of anything in particular at the moment. Would you accept my monologue token?
Oh, yes.
Oh, this
I
is the
need
thing
to
about
know.
monologue tokens. They don't have to accept.
Well,
They
I
just
also,
have
I also
to.
don't want
It
to
is- So that just gets discarded.
Oh, okay.
You'll get it back at the epistolary phase.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Gallus Alexander is thinking that Elton, darling, seems far too interested in this new young woman in town. And that thanks to Patrick's involvement with this conversation
Hey.
and apparent foreknowledge, that she will attempt to fan the flames of this friendship into more, or at least divert them into conversing with one another and excluding Elton, such that perhaps Kit and Elton can converse.
All right, okay.
Dinner continues. Dessert is served. It's a lovely custard. If there's any other dinner convos to be had, now is the time before adjourning to either the lounge room for smoking and brandy or the drawing room.
I want to take an opportunity in a brief lull in the conversation to ask Lord Elton about how his knowledge of sport is progressing. Now, you know I'm not much of an athlete myself, I'm sure you can all tell, but I think it's important in a young man's education that, a young person's education, my apologies, that they have a well-rounded knowledge, even if it is not necessarily something that strikes their fancy.
Is polo a thing at this time?
Ooh. Let's say yes. I'm probably wrong, but I'm making an executive decision.
Executive decision.
Bam!
I find myself quite drawn to. Well, there's of course rowing,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Fencing
always
as well. Just
fencing.
yeah.
I did try, Patrick, to engage in fencing, but I find it awfully nerve-wracking. I don't
You're well
relish the
protected,
idea
sir.
of poking someone who doesn't want to be poked.
Well, in fencing, we do, of course, consent to being poked, as we are all participating of our own volition.
Yes, but
I had an excellent teacher. I could perhaps pass along those coordinates if that would be of interest.
I do so much more enjoy spending time with the horses,
I do
polo.
love riding.
but it's just the right of attack and the parrying and the
camera.
thrust and the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just all so much.
It is meant to challenge us in both our physical bodies and our intellectual ones.
Do you know that there's a St. George's parry? When you hold your sword up above your head. It's because it's the same parry that St. George used when he fought the dragon.
Ah.
That one I can do.
A
I'm
dragon?
still not very good at it, though.
You're planning on slaying dragons then, young Lord Elton?
No, I do believe that dragons are the sort of creatures who just might be too magnificent to strike.
Mm.
Well, I have a set of fencing foils should ever the interest arise, Lord Elton.
Well, I think the young Lord Elton is very fetching when he fences, and I think that should be something for all to see. We can make a game of it, I announced to the table at large, even though they don't know what's going on.
If Caroline Starling
Whoop.
would like to hear this,
The
the voice carries loud enough
When
that
she hears
can.
that, she will certainly perk up and tune in.
Oh, mother.
So the whole table turns to Patrick in anticipation of this making a game of it. Must be an event that's being planned. Ooh, whatever could it be?
Well, of course, I have not yet settled on any details, but I think it would be great fun for us all here in Habershire to participate in some sport. And I
Oh, yes,
look around.
Patrick. What a lovely idea.
Thank you, Miss Alexander.
Oh, this is Caroline.
Oh,
sorry.
Caroline, yes, of course. No, my apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I don't know how to do acting.
Perhaps the Lady Starling would be so great. Whoa, would be
Dang.
so.
She's always
Gracious.
great.
Hey, perhaps the Lady Starling would grace us with her presence.
Of course, and I'm certain we could section off a partition of our own grounds for the event if you didn't have another location in mind.
What sort of sport are we playing?
Well, it would have to be something that I could at least try to excel at. I like play it. Yeah.
He's so funny.
Thank God.
Oh, he's
Roll for
my
laughter.
son's tutor. He's so clever, isn't he? Says she to whoever Lady Caroline is sitting next to.
Oh, yes, he knows many languages. I've heard he can speak Italian, French, Greek, Dutch, German.
And like just keeps going after this.
Would you know
We
he's
can't exactly
my son
erect a
in all of them.
maypole. It's not the right month.
No, that I would agree. But I think there's something very civilized in showing off our accomplishments in the arts, but also in sports, sciences.
Yes. We could certainly have a range for riding set up, perhaps even some jumping. if folks are feeling up to it. And I dare
Edith
say...
would like to chime
Yeah.
in.
Oh,
She
hello, Edith.
Yes!
Oh, you know I'm an excellent rider. I'll beat you anytime, brother.
Yeah.
It's. I'm certain that we could get the horses and have ourselves a bit of a steeplechase.
Mm-hmm. Lord Elton, you don't believe that your sister, with her somewhat less experience than you, will be able to outrace you on horseback?
Oh, hush now. I'll be excellent at outracing you.
Yes, but if I don't tell the Lord to try, he might not try to beat you, you see.
Oh, come on, please, pretty please.
Well, of course, if everyone's watching, I'll
We will set a date and
do my
invite
best.
many to this.
Sporting event.
Yeah.
Call it
Event.
the Olympics.
Yes, it can be like a
No,
sport
okay.
picnic kind of thing. So
Oh.
like
Oh.
an
Yes.
outdoor garden party
And
of
of course
sorts
there will
plus
be
sport.
cricket.
Oh, cricket. Oh, I see what you like cricket.
Dessert is finished. If
What a sticky wicket this is.
people would like to retire now, usually in Jane Austen times, it would be the gentlemen who go to smoke and drink brandy while the ladies retire to the drawing room. Now it is just some people go to smoke and some people go to the drawing room, and eventually everybody reconvenes in the drawing room. So who would like to go where?
I'm barreling right to the drawing room.
All right.
Wait, sorry, lounge.
Excellent.
Yes,
So this the smoking lounge for Kit.
smoking lounge.
Perfect.
Be the drawing room for Lavinia.
Excellent.
I would like to follow Christine Varney, the Lavinia's
Aunt?
aunt.
So where does Christine
Oh,
Varney end up?
she's heading straight for the lounge.
Sure, the lounge, eh?
Oh yeah.
All right.
So is
This
this where
hat's gonna
Patrick's
get the
gonna
smoke room
pretend
right
to
under
smoke?
it. So cool.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Well, no, he's smoked a few overseas. You know what I mean?
What?
What?
All right. Well, let's start
Smoked a few
with
fools who crossed him.
let's start with the drawing room
Oh
then.
my gosh.
So we have Lord Elton and we have Lavinia in the drawing room. There is a pianoforte. There is a harp. There are many lovely prints and paintings on the walls, some of which may have been done by Lord Starling. It is
How would you know?
a very well furnished and inviting room. There's a fire roaring,
I need to
and
get
some
back to Lord Elton.
aperitifs.
Might I add that Patty is sitting on one of the chaises next to Lady Caroline.
I
A
see.
very
So-
well-bred terrier.
Oh, Lady
Yes.
Caroline's also in the drawing room.
Yes.
Ah.
Merp.
Miss Varney, would you care to take a tour around the room?
I would love to.
I will offer her my elbow.
Ah.
If Patrick were there, he'd
She
give you
will
one of
take
these.
it.
Or like, yeah, like you got this.
This is Patty, our beloved dog.
Oh,
Do you like dogs?
yes, of course.
I will look to Mother as if to be like, look, somebody likes dogs.
Uh,
That's a good thing.
Sorry.
Patty will look up and then, like, just settle back down without much interest. Is all that Lady Caroline says at the moment, and then goes back to whoever she was speaking with.
I'll just continue showing a few paintings around. Is it true that then you were friends with Patrick?
Yes, at one point.
I shouldn't have put that out there.
What was he like?
Growing up,
Yes.
oh, about the same. He hasn't changed much.
I imagine he's not always been so much of a tutor.
I think it was in his blood.
He must have learned quite a bit. Did he learn anything from you?
Well, I am quite the pianist. And the
I would-
harpist.
Yes. harpist.
I wouldn't dare to presume upon you to gift us with your talent.
Oh, I would love to if Lady Caroline is all right with that.
She generally is very happy for people to step up and play. So you
Regale
can
us.
convey that if you would
Yes,
like.
my mother always loved music. In fact, the piano belonged to my father. Would you care to?
Sure. I'm better at the harp. I mean, I'm
Then it must be the harp.
excellent. She's going to sit down at the harp.
All right.
Just stretch her fingers first.
Very important. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Just boost this shit up high. There we go.
I'm going to take a chair close to Lavinia and the harp, and I'm going to listen attentively.
Could we boost John slightly?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not always so
Spring.
soft-spoken. Yes, very
spring,
true.
spring.
Breaking it
Lady
slow.
Caroline pauses at the beginning of this to give attention. She does play well, doesn't she?
Oh, very well. I love nothing so well as the harp.
I hate that guy.
What an intriguing addition to Habershaw.
Yes, she's a new resident at Elderbury Ridge. A very well situated estate. Have you ever been there, your ladyship?
Well, of course. I am quite familiar with this region, though I haven't been in many a year.
Oh, perhaps you might like to pay her a visit. Pay them both a visit. You would be doing them a great honor.
I'm sure I could arrange it. What a good idea.
Oh, I'm full of them, your ladyship.
Now, about the
Also, I'd
the
like
Animal Welfare Society. And blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yes, that old chestnut.
Did we lose a resolve token there, John? Or?
I monologued all over the floor.
Oh
No, actually.
Where did it go?
It's gone forever. Do you want to go grab another one? They're just over.
Rip.
I was going to spend it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool. It's spent.
excellent.
I want to know what Lavinia is intending on while she's playing the harp. Who is she playing for and why?
So she's playing to prove that she is one of the most talented people in the room.
Is that all? Sorry.
I found it.
Yes.
And you said, and why, John?
Yes, who are you playing for and why?
Yes. She's also playing to prove to Lady Caroline that she would make a good match, if that is something that's on the table.
It's on the table.
The piece comes to a close, and there is quite a lot of enthusiastic applause.
Enthusiastic.
Oh, well done, miss. That was lovely.
Thank you. She does a little curtsy.
And now we're going to zip. Oh, you know what? A servant circulates around the room with some aperitifs and drinks, and once they've done that, they leave and continue down the hall, and the camera follows them to a room that has quite a bit of smoke coming out of it.
There's, like,
and
sexy
open
jazz
door
music
and
playing, and we're all
da-da-da.
So, did you catch the fight last night?
Whoa.
Whoa. Do you know what game we're in? I'm so sorry.
We are in the lounge. What is happening?
Now, run.
Kid is speaking of the apparent sporting event that's upcoming and trying to gauge who will be participating, who the competition might be. Kid is particularly athletic. Outside of their reading, that is the only other thing that they ever spend much time or effort on.
So we know that Kit is very good at riding.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that Kit is making sure to mention to everyone?
Riding is their particular favorite pastime, though they have been trained in fencing and many of the other typical sports. They're aware of how cricket goes, but it's a bit too slow for Kit's liking.
Fair.
Kit is
No
fast and
offense.
furious.
Yes! Rough and tumble. But otherwise is again just trying to make polite conversation and say all the right things to all the right people. Very, as much as they're aware that they're associated to new money, they want to prove that that doesn't mean that they aren't any less proper.
Now, are they good at this?
I would say yes.
All right, so they're genuinely like well versed in the etiquette of these events, or do you think there's sometimes where they push their opinions a bit
They're
further, but never too far?
They definitely try to steer conversation to topics that they are particularly knowledgeable about, so they will find ways to work in, oh yes, like Plato, and then somehow find a way to talk about Plato instead of necessarily speaking about whatever the actual subject is at hand, so that they can always converse
Confidently.
Yes,
and
confidently,
yeah,
exactly.
nice.
Oh, Lord, help.
as opposed to necessarily being the perfect listener.
Love it. Okay, and what is Patrick doing?
Well, I intend to speak to Miss Alexander, but first I'm engaging Mrs. Varney, the aunt, Christine Lavinia's aunt. Nailed it. For now, I'm just, engaging you about the trip down here to Maple Lodge. You came all this way. It wasn't too troublesome for you.
No trouble at all.
That's good.
It was honestly sort of a fun little jaunt. It's quite a nice scenery along the way as we go back and forth.
Of course. It is. It's beautiful around these parts, especially in a few months' time, as I'm sure you know.
I imagine in the moonlight it will be quite romantic.
It is. It can be.
Yes.
Jesus.
What? It can be. That's a non-committal statement.
You seem to really be panicking, Patrick.
Don't be so hard on the lad.
Mrs. Varney, I just would like to thank you for bringing Lavinia here to this gathering as well.
She loves balls.
Yes.
Wild stallions couldn't drag her away.
Well, that's good then. I'm just very happy that there's some new blood here at these gatherings. We're getting, well, not tiresome, but it's always good to have a bit of fresh blood.
Do you find these tiresome?
In truth, no. I enjoy meeting new people and learning new things.
Well, I have to say that Lavinia deserves a good time now and again. It's been awfully rough for her.
I can imagine. Moving to a new town. Is that her drinking or is that her miming drink? Okay, good. Just checking. Yes, I can imagine, Mrs. Varney. And is Lavinia settling in well?
I think that she is lonely. As all young people are. Lonely.
Of course. Yes, I of course am never lonely in the company of two young people.
She's so far away from home now. Of course that she's going to be lonely.
Well, that's the thing about Habershire. We can always find people new homes in the community.
Kate, could you boost John again?
Mrs.
You're
Varney.
absolutely correct.
Mrs. Varney, does I hope you don't mind. I took the initiative to introduce the young Miss Varney and the young Lord Elton.
Oh.
I just thought you should know in case you are ever paid a visit by the young lord, or perhaps his sister, or perhaps his mother, or perhaps anyone here.
And who says the young lord wouldn't be making a visit from me?
No one.
Well, I must say that if you do decide to accompany Lord Elton, it would be most beneficial. After all, I'm quite too old to be a proper chaperone, aren't I?
I suppose that is... I don't think one is ever too old to chaperone, but I understand and acknowledge
No
your
one
point.
wants Auntie to be around when there's talking and merriment and walking about.
You're here now? Oh, there's no walking about, I suppose.
This is a ball. It's different. And after all, she's comfortable with you.
Is she?
I could see it.
Mm.
Why? Are you not?
It's been a long time.
Time heals all wounds, young Patrick. But it also wounds all heals.
Excuse me. And I'll duck out of this conversation,
Damn
pondering
it.
her words. Oh no! I'm sorry. Come on!
One too many puns, I knew it!
No, everybody is getting ready to adjourn to the drawing room.
We've liquored up good.
I would
It's
like
time
to walk alongside Patrick as we make our
Perfect.
transition.
Have we met on like multiple occasions? Like,
I
do I know
mean,
you quite well?
I live in the town,
Yeah.
so I think that anytime there's been an event that the two of us have been at, we're like, Kit is very interested in, you're a person of education, so it's definitely you're worth conversing with.
Meeting
You're-
of the minds.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Miss Alexander, it's wonderful to catch a moment with you.
absolutely.
I didn't realize you would be quite so enthusiastic about sport. Sometimes I just say things off the cuff, and the lady of the house makes them a reality, like that.
Seems.
Sorry.
Are you any good at sport?
My education did not include such pursuits.
Yet you suggested that you would like to try your hand at some of the events.
I'm looking for ways to bring the young Lord Elton out of his shell. And his sister as well, of course. I quickly kind of take back what I said, you know what I mean?
And any interest in garnering any attention for yourself?
I love the community that I live in, and if there's any way that I could secure myself a bit of renown for my sporting prowess, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
We can perhaps arrange for an event that would particularly showcase your skills, if that would be helpful to you. What are you best at?
What do you do successfully?
Look, I don't know. There were some things mentioned that were, there was the thing mentioned that was like fencing mentioned, and there was
Archery.
archery. Yes,
Riding.
there was. When I was studying in France, I took up the bow, which might seem a bit strange. What is a
Yes, John.
Yes.
I want to suggest that,
Uh-huh.
in fact, you are a champion archer, but
Yes!
but
Sorry.
you
That was
haven't let this be known.
I will accept this without condition.
Just
Just put it down on the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
I
fine.
have to.
Here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
I have a bank.
Oh, I see.
Well then, we'll see about convincing Lady Caroline that archery would be an excellent addition.
I only hope that there is someone else who can make my skill appear better by comparison.
I'll
I'm so
admit
poor
that
at
I
it.
don't have much experience with the bow, so I do intend to participate in all games that I'm able to. So,
You're hoping to win a bit of renown for yourself.
new money doesn't always come with the highest regard.
And now we're speaking frankly. I know what you mean. Well, I'm sure the young Lord Elton does not have any of such thoughts in his mind at any time.
Lord Elton? No, I just mean in general.
Oh, yes.
Society.
As did I. Generally, the Starlings wouldn't hold it as a mark against anyone.
And by now we've
You
definitely
definitely
Yeah,
reached
yeah.
the drawing room and you were
Yeah.
dawdling
Okay, I'm a champion
outside.
archer. Okay,
Is
got it.
Lavinia still playing the harp when people arrive?
Lavinia can choose to play more than one
Yes.
song. Now, it would be considered gauche to play more than
Oh, would
a
it?
few in a row
Okay.
if there were others who seemed interested in playing.
Right.
But is that who Lavinia is? Is she like just so excited to show off her talent that
I think she would restrain herself, but
Alright.
she'd be like really fighting hard to.
so maybe she played two?
Yeah.
She was like an encore,
Yeah.
and she played another. And then was like, oh no, I couldn't play another.
Couldn't
Like-
play. Possibly.
So she has stopped. And the smokers enter the room.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's like.
Patrick is not used to that. He normally does not go there, but he needed to speak with a few people, and there you go.
There is no one at the pianoforte. It is available.
Patrick,
Yes.
do you believe that Lavinia and Kit would be interested in a game of whist?
Perhaps that's a generally acceptable pastime. Are you looking to play?
I'm so excited to know more about their friendship. They look like they've been getting along so well. Perhaps they'd like to be partners.
All right, Lord Elton, you wish to know more about their friendship.
Well, just so long as Miss Varney is new, after all, and we want to make sure that she feels welcome and that she returns, and to have a friend in Kit would be so useful and so wonderful.
That is certainly true, and to have a friend in you as well perhaps could help her get to know this region better. Do you need a fourth, Lord Elton?
Well, you, obviously. Patrick, you and I make great partners.
Indeed. Indeed we do. I'll advise you to focus on your cards. You wouldn't want to look like you don't know how to play.
I'll take your tutelage under advisement, Patrick, of course, as always.
Mm-hmm. Hold your trumps. Which came out a lot stranger than I intended.
Jesus.
That's my whisk
Flush them.
knowledge, guys.
Flush the drums. Sorry.
Whoop. Flush, flush.
Lavinia,
Yes.
I don't suppose you would enjoy a round of whist.
Oh. All right.
And with that, perfect. Patrick, you know where the cards are. And I'm going to go right for, in my excitement at my new plan, I'm going to go straight for
White
Kit.
the plan. I'm gonna zip off and try to find a deck
All
of
right.
cards.
Now, I'm going to say that Lord Elton's excitement carries him away to such a degree that his mother definitely notices with what eagerness he bolts across the room to Kit.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
And excellent. And maybe she raises an eyebrow. Yeah.
Do I notice this? Or am I too wrapped up in my excitement?
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going to leave it to the chat. First person to answer. Do I notice my mother's eyebrow or do I head straight over to Kit?
Do I notice my mother's eyebrow?
That's what was catching my stupid thread. Okay.
Oblivious. Everyone's
All right,
saying doesn't
done.
notice.
Okay,
All right,
Love
so-
it. I love it.
I'll head straight for Kit.
Lord Starling.
Miss Alexander,
Yes.
Can I
We
also
were-
notice?
Yeah, and do you notice the mother or do you notice the excitement
No, the
towards Kit?
excitement.
I think that's pretty obvious because
Yeah.
you're following him leaving, so yes.
Excellent.
Patrick
His
and
mother.
I are putting together a game of whist. Would you Would you enjoy a round?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Lavinia needs a partner, and I'm going to head right back to the table.
I will, of course, follow Lord Elton as the man of the house. As the lord of the house. As the whatever. The heir of the house. There we go. That's how to say it without patriarchy.
I've, of course, found a deck of cards at this point, and I've started dealing them out for everybody.
Perfect. We're not going to go into the intricacies of whist unless somebody desperately wants
It's
to.
like Baby Bridge.
Yes.
All right, so the group
That
is
is
playing
also not playing.
Baby Bridge. So everyone's
Bridge, though.
playing, and maybe there's some conversation happening around the table, or is there a lot of focus?
Ooh, good question.
And is anybody specifically trying to like show up anybody else?
I'm trying my very hardest to show that I know the game well, except that I keep being too obvious in looking to Patrick for help. Like,
my God.
Do you think I should? Like, because I can't show him the cards that I'm playing, but there's a little bit
You're
too
like,
much of like, oh, I've got a good hand, Patrick.
Yeah.
Notice me.
So is Patrick the only one who's like really good at whist, or is everyone else decent?
It's like okay, serviceable, but definitely not so good.
Oh, I'm good at it, just not today.
Oh, gotcha. You've got other things on your mind. Got it. And Lavinia? How's Lavinia at
Lavinia
whist?
actually doesn't like card games
Oh, no.
at
I
all.
fucked up.
Dun, dun, dun.
How
So
will you learn?
she's going to try her best to power through.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
the fact that also Kit is there too is making things
And
much
perhaps
harder.
not being an excellent, like not being very useful in making your hands useful or whatever,
Are there
right?
dummies in whist? I forget. No.
Usually, no.
So
Or it's certainly not when I played.
yeah, so bridge is where the okay.
One
Dang.
person steps aside and.
Because that'd be
Why do you
awesome.
want to
I know,
call
it'd be
someone
great
a
to just-
dummy?
Well, because in bridge, if you win the bid, your partner doesn't play.
They just get up and have a break.
Yeah,
which
so
is
you
nice.
basically can like screw over your partner by constantly like bidding high, but there's no
Okay.
bidding in whist, so there's no
Dang.
dummies.
Yes, I would like to try to find ways to engage Patrick and Lavinia in talking about themselves or their interests.
I love education.
I also would like to hear Patrick and Lavinia talk about themselves.
But I would also like to perhaps stretch my leg under the table just to like rest my foot against Lord Elton's, but in the most subtle way possible.
Okay.
Instant flush.
That is so scary. I absolutely noticed that.
I'm going to propose that Kit, while you eventually find Elton's leg, your foot grazes both Lavinia's and Patrick's in the quest, and they notice. Now, this is my proposition to you. What do you think?
I accept.
Excellent.
Incredible.
But I do also try to make like a show of being like, oh, because my character, I don't know, I haven't written down their height, but I'm going to say that, they're perhaps a little tall.
Yeah.
So
These are very
Long
small
legs.
card tables.
Oh, yeah.
yes. I must stretch my legs.
Aren't we a bit clumsy?
Pardon me. I'm recovering from a bit of a long ride.
Were you out of town,
Drink.
Miss Alexander?
No, I just my new horse, of course, needs particular attention and training with
You haven't quite broken him in.
yes, insert appropriate equine
Horse.
terminology.
Terminology.
Yeah, new horse need to like ride a lot to like get used to each other and get to know each other. That stuff.
Break in.
Break him in.
I must admit that's one pursuit I never found myself equal to, and it's one of my great losses in life.
It's quite trying, but I imagine the rewards are quite worth it.
Do you ride, Lavinia?
I do.
Are you a good rider?
I mean, I don't want to.
Will you be engaging in the sport?
Oh, well,
Oh, do compete.
It would
be
quite
lovely to see.
I'm sure it would be.
Patrick, look, your idea is going so well. Yes.
Just a
So well.
spur of the moment thing, isn't it?
Oh, and I hear that Patrick will be participating in the archery tournament.
Yes, just something I've dabbled in over time.
An archery tournament.
Oh, dabbled in. He's
Do you-
marvelous at it.
Oh boy, you never. Oh boy, you never told me that you knew about the bow.
Has he not trained you?
There's only so many hours in a day, and I felt it was important for the young Lord Elton to have training in more classical arts and less fanciful ones.
You must teach me before the games, so that I can defend the family honor.
Lord Elton, I'm certain that your family's honor can survive with or without an archery tournament.
Oh, well, all right.
But of course, participate if you would like. I
I-
too will be participating.
Really?
Yes.
You've been known to string up a bow now and then.
Yes.
Well, I'd be very happy to compete with any and all comers. This is, of course, for pride in the community of Habershire, and Miss Varney is new to the community and therefore can decide for herself whether she would like to play in the games or not.
I should warn you, Miss Alexander is quite competitive. They're always on the lookout for the next win.
Is that so?
I
It's
would
quite endearing, actually. I mean, interesting.
I'm quite fond of sport.
I see.
I would say at this moment, the card game would come to a close. Do we have a consensus as to which team won?
Us two?
I think Patrick carries.
And also, maybe Patrick's the only one really paying attention to the game. By
That's fair. Well, I lost the hand where I got my leg grazed. I'll tell you that for free.
I haven't been
Spilled my
touched
cards
in
all over the
months.
table.
Patrick, why the ace? Why there? Why them?
It is
Trump
getting
players.
late. Some people are starting to call for their carriages, and are starting to make their way towards their wraps and their hats.
Terribly sorry. I have to say goodbye to
Thank
everyone.
you for the card game.
Well, it was always a pleasure to have a bit of fun with you and
Yes.
Lavinia.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go outside so that I can make sure to thank people for arriving and doing the whole handshake line and that sort of thing.
Excellent. You're you're very good at this, I think. So everybody is.
Well, I've got a
is
bit of
very
courage
pleased.
up. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had two people like me, and Patrick always likes me. So
Yeah, you seem to make a pretty good impression. You danced several dances, even though we didn't see all of them.
Oh, good.
You circulated throughout the room very well. Your mother seems quite pleased with how the evening went.
Oh, thank goodness. But yes, I'll do the handshake line and make sure that I'm away from the trio, as it were, for now.
Kit will make their goodbyes and head home.
Perfect.
Not overstay their welcome.
Does Kit head home with their aunt?
Yes.
Perfect.
Miss Varney, it was a pleasure to see. We're now in more public, so I'm just like, Miss Varney, it was a pleasure to see you.
Yes, Mr. Beaumont. You as well.
Thank you. Perhaps we'll see you here at Maple Grove again.
Yes, perhaps we will.
I think the young Lord Elton would like that very much. Who am I to judge?
She's gonna have a tiny bit of color in her cheeks
Oh!
as she goes to her aunt.
Did you have a good time?
I did.
I'm so
you, Auntie.
pleased. And you were spending an awful lot of time with the young Earl.
Yes. Indeed, I guess I was.
Lady Molly.
And they get into their carriage, make their way home to Elderberry Ridge,
Click clop.
Yes.
Clip clop, clip clop.
and by all accounts, the event was a great success.
Smashing.
And I think this is actually a wonderful opportunity to move on to the next chapter. So the ball took up the entire first chapter of our cycle, which is the novel chapter, which means that we're moving on to reputation, which I've also combined with rumor and scandal. You'll see I have very much simplified this for the purposes of the one-shot, because normally there are reputation tags that can add to or detract from how your character is viewed by the larger society, and then 3 tags that are either positive or negative will trigger a reputation condition. So we're not doing that because it would just add on a bit too much time, but we are going to speak about how our characters behaved at the ball and if they maybe did anything that was a little less great in the eyes of society. I do want to throw out there, just as a reminder, that Lord Starling's mother definitely noticed him being very attentive to Kit.
Absolutely.
And while he did a really good job at circulating with people, it was very clear that he wanted to spend most of his time with this little group of people. Just to start things off.
Yeah. I think in terms of Patrick's actions, I think he realizes that being kind of spending time apart with Lavinia was maybe not quite right because nobody knows that they have history together. So he spent the rest of the evening doing his best to uphold Lord Elton's hold Lord Elton's hand through the through the proceedings, but also but also to try to encourage everyone to speak with the young Lord Elton. Oh. So I'm hoping that that's improved his reputation as a good mentor and tutor.
As much as I think that Lord Elton was doing his best to try to pass around the room, and like you said, that people noticed that, I think that it's possible that the person who's noticed most keenly was his mother. Which means that the people who he's been spending the most time with, aside from, of course, his teacher, who is, that's perhaps to be expected, but there's Kit, we may not approve. And there's Lavinia, who's kind of a question mark. Mm-hmm. It seems that Elton has, once again, been following not necessarily the needs of the peerage, and perhaps more the whims of a young man.
Maybe he's been shirking his duty.
Oh, not my duty.
Perhaps.
That's not all he's shirking.
Oh my God. Gasp.
Kit was certainly seen quite often with Lord Elton, which some would consider far beyond their station and inappropriate. Though there's still the understanding that, of course, if a lord asks, the common folk are to say yes. And also...
Although, did anyone notice that it was Kit who asked for the first dance?
I don't know.
I wonder.
And also that Kit was very forward in their conversation with Patrick, perhaps more than is appropriate. Yeah.
I think it came as no surprise, perhaps, that Lavinia was a bit curt and rude at times to Kit, which is not exactly ladylike of Lavinia to...
Did people notice?
Well, it's very possible at least Patrick and Lord Elton might have noticed.
I think that's pretty safe to assume.
Yeah, that there's a bit there.
It became gradually clearer, I think, as the night went on.
Was it the, we're clumsy tonight?
Perhaps. I also think before the night ended, Lavinia went back to play more music. Perhaps maybe one too many times than she should have.
All right.
Yes.
So in an effort to prove herself, and maybe to show up Kit,
yes,
she played the hell out of that harp.
Especially after the card game. She felt she needed to demonstrate her skills again.
So do you think maybe she needed to be gently reminded by somebody that it was time to leave?
Yes.
Okay, love it.
It's a bit late, don't you think?
Yeah.
Chaperone you out.
They're like in their jammies.
Exhausted. Why is she still
Keep it
playing?
down there.
Trying to sleep up here.
I was just getting a nightcap.
All right, well that's great. I think we have some good little nuggets to move on to the next phase, which is epistolary.
Ah, of course.
My favorite phase, maybe my second
Yeah,
favorite.
because we get the pistols out.
Epistolary is when one at a time a major character writes a letter to somebody. It can be a connection. It could be an NPC that maybe hasn't been introduced yet. It could be another major character, and it's just a short couple of sentences basically to give a sense of maybe something that they've just experienced, something that they plan to do. It's just an extra little bit of flavor for the world. So I'm gonna let whoever's ready volunteer to go first.
I need a moment to think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Ready.
Kit, let's start with you.
Elton. The longer we wait, the longer we wait, the harder it will be. We have already waited 3 years to to speak of our engagement. As newcomers enter society, your mother will of course wish for you to marry against your heart. We need to make our engagement public knowledge before your family finds leverage against us. Let us stand together. All of my love, Kit.
Bosh.
Whoa.
Gosh.
Is anyone else ready to go?
Nope.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, Lavinia.
Lady Carolyn, I wanted to thank you for a lovely evening the other night. I also wanted to speak to you about a business proposal I have.
Business.
If this is something you would be interested in, kindly write back to me, and I can meet at your earliest convenience. Yours truly, Miss Lavinia Varney.
Should I give any response to this?
We can do that when we're deciding on scenes.
Okay.
So if she does want to act, she might propose a scene between the two. We've got Patrick and Elton.
I'm just considering what would be best here, but I'll be writing to
Lavinia?
Lavinia. Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking of like terms of address. Dearest, scratch, 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 scratch. Cher, no, scratch, scratch.
Yo.
Perfect.
Your face.
Miss Varney, as you know, I am thrilled that you are residing here in Havershire. I look forward to seeing you on many more occasions, as does the young lord and young lady. I must, however, if I may give you a word of advice, being newly arrived, I must inform you that the the lady of the manor at Maple Grove is someone for whom appearances are perhaps more important than character, and that the appearance of attachment must necessarily lead to action as soon as possible. I hope I'm not being too cryptic with my letter. I simply wish to warn you that the lady of the house wishes the best for her children and for the continuation of Maple Grove. I, for one, can see you finding an excellent place here. and I hope to see you again soon. Patrick Beaumont.
Dear Patrick, I'm writing because there is one lesson in which I feel I have not yet learned, and I confess that it is too bold for me to bring it up in person with you. I find myself not understanding matters of the heart.
Mm-mm.
How does one handle a relationship in which one wonders whether the fires have cooled already, and that it is mere practicality that drives us forward towards engagement and marriage? Or what could be done if it is found with someone new? The idea that love is so crucial to the human condition, dear Patrick, is one that I struggle with now almost daily. And I wonder what you would think of me if I were to lose that which defines my family. Were I to make a decision to go for love instead of duty, would you think so much less of me? Sincerely, and always yours, Ellie.
Dear goodness me. Well, thank you, everybody. Oh, God. We are moving on now to another novel chapter. Yay! So, I want to hear from the group particular scenes that you want to make sure we have. Doesn't have to be in any particular order, but like things that you definitely want to see.
I think that Christine's going to have a little talk with Kit.
Okay.
That's
Christine Varney.
Christine Varney.
So do you think
Wow.
do you think she summons Kit to Maple Grove, or does she actually
Well, she would summon
go?
her to Elderberry Bridge, wouldn't she?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Christine. Yes,
Yeah, Christine.
Christine and Kit. So Christine would summon Kit to Elderberry Ridge.
Yes.
Okay,
Shit.
Okay.
gotcha.
At some point, Kit may need to speak to her aunt, but I think I need to see what else goes down.
Okay, so they would speak with
Molly.
Molly, thank you.
Played by Scott. Sorry.
Ooh, lovely. Okay, perfect. And anything else?
We have to see the archery contest.
This is
Yeah.
the thing.
course.
So
Mhm.
we might
Some
kind of
sporting.
zero in on that because I don't think we'll
Okay.
have time to do all of the sports unless we
That's fair.
speed through
Yes,
them a little bit.
but I also want to make sure that it's not the last scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it has to happen rather early on,
All
To
right.
get it out of, yeah.
because the fallout from that, I think, is where it's at.
Patrick needs to address Elton's letter.
Okay. So Patrick and Elton. Okay.
You misspelled my address. It never made it to me. You
Oh,
see?
no.
It
Anything
ended
from you,
up
Jess?
just a bunch of people.
So I think Lavinia will want sort of to address Patrick's letter, but also, and this is more if we have time for it, we don't need to include it, but with Lady Carolyn, if she
Okay.
were to invite Lavinia over.
Oh.
She would invite her over, and I don't think she would necessarily give a yes or no to the idea of business. Just, of course, we can find time to meet. How about tea on such and such a day?
Excellent.
All right. So I think we should do one or two small visiting scenes and then have the garden party and sports, and then more conversations can happen there. And then we can have another scene or two after the fact. All right. Does anyone have a burning desire to start off their scene?
Yeah, I want to visit Kit.
Oh, okay.
Christine Varney wants to visit Kit.
Oh, Christine Varney. Right. Okay.
So Christine Varney goes into town to
No,
visit
she
Kit,
calls-
or
she
summons,
calls Kit
summons Kit to
to
Elderberry
Elderberry Ridge.
Ridge. Perfect.
Preferably at a time when Lavinia's not there.
Excellent. Lavinia will be out.
Now, if you were to come home early, I wouldn't be adverse to this.
Excellent.
Oh, do we reset our tokens or
Yes,
anything like
thank you for reminding me. Reset your tokens. Everybody gets their
I have
monologue
2.
token back.
You should have
That
2.
works.
Oh,
Or you should have 4, rather.
Yours?
I have an extra.
I haven't been using mine. I need to be forcing people.
Miss Alexander, Kit, may I
Yes.
call you Kit? Please sit down. There's like cheeses,
Cucumber sandwiches.
cucumber yeah,
Yeah.
like your typical
Classic.
Nice.
tea party.
Tea luncheon kind
Yeah.
of thing, yeah.
I look like a freaking archaeologist.
Well, thank you very much for this invitation. You have beautiful grounds here.
I must inquire. Is everything all right?
In what sense?
I confess that I saw a bit of animosity back at the ball. And I wanted to make sure that there wasn't a problem between you and Lavinia. After all, it's been so hard for her recently, and I don't want to see her experience any difficulty now that she's in her new home.
Did Mom?
Certainly, I do apologize if I made any offense, but I'm very happy to have Lavinia join us here. And it must be so nice for her to be in the same town as Patrick once again.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear.
They are
Wait,
very good friends, aren't they?
Yes, they're very good friends. But I'm so pleased that she's going to be there for you.
Of course, I don't want to impose on her time. I'm sure she has plenty to do.
Well, you've put an ease on my mind. After all, if there's no problem, then everything's going to be so perfect here at Elderberry Ridge.
Yes, I do hope so.
Excellent. Would you like another nibble?
Oh no, thank you. I should be getting back.
Can
Thank you
Lavinia
so much for your
enter at this
kindness.
time?
All right, we have a request to have Lavinia interrupt.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Lavinia.
Lavinia,
Yes.
Kit here is so pleased that you're here in Elderberry Ridge. She was just
Are
finished
they?
telling me how excited she was that you were here and that the two of you are going to be great friends.
Were they now?
I'm so happy.
I'm.
I should leave the two of you to talk. I'm going to take a stroll around the rose garden. She gets up
Ta!
and like puts on a sun hat and heads right out.
Wow.
And then she comes back and then snags her tea and then heads back out.
Can
Nice.
I request that it's a hat that Lavinia made?
Yes.
And that doesn't really affect the story in a
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
way.
yeah.
So if,
So I don't
if John's
need to
cool
use
with
it?
it,
Oh yeah,
you don't
no,
need to cool
absolutely.
it.
It's,
Yeah.
of course it's a hat that Lavinia made. They're the
No.
best hats after all.
I love it. Amazing.
I was just on my way out, so I won't bother you with my presence any longer.
Oh, you're not a bother.
Are you looking forward to the sporting event?
Truth be told, sports aren't really my thing.
Of course. Well, it will be a spot where society turns out if you are interested in further acquainting yourself with
Oh yes,
Tim.
I'll still be there, of course. I just
Excellent.
won't be
Competing, of course.
competing.
That's fair.
Sidelines, where you belong.
The more hot-blooded of us.
Yes, well,
Please give your thanks again to your aunt for having me for tea.
yes, very odd that she invited you while I was not here.
She simply wanted to make sure that you were doing well in town. She's concerned for your well-being. It's very sweet.
Is she now?
Yes.
Oh, I assure you, there's no reason to be concerned.
As I attempted to assure her, but it's family.
Yes, family.
Good day.
Good day.
Bill,
Good
Bill,
day.
Bill.
Wow. Okay, well. That's one scene done. No. So we have Kit and Molly. We have Patrick and Elton, Lavinia and Patrick, and potentially Lavinia and Lady Caroline. We also have the garden event. Is there something that really seems like it should take place before the garden event? I'm thinking maybe Patrick and Elton.
Yeah, before? Yeah. That sounds like
It could be while you're getting ready for the event. Helping each other get dressed.
strapping on boots,
Yeah.
pants, shirts and stuff.
Would you prefer that your meeting with Lady Caroline happen before the sporting event?
Sure,
Or,
yeah,
I mean,
if-
it's whatever is most effective for
If
you.
there's time.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that one first?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I
do
think
that one
that
now.
one first.
Perfect.
So Lavinia is going to show up with a bunch of like hat boxes and a suitcase filled, beautiful suitcase filled with ribbons and sewing supplies and all sorts of things she has accumulated herself and set up wherever Lady Caroline has decided for them to meet.
Yeah, a little side room sort of thing. yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Lady Caroline, for meeting with me.
Oh, of course. It is so nice to have a new young person in town.
I was hoping I could show you some of what I've made. You see, I'm hoping to open a haberdashery here in
lovely.
Habershire, and I would love to first show my wares to the most acquainted woman in the town.
Well, thank you. Let's see what
acquainted.
you've brought here.
It's the
I
wrong
see
choice
you
of
have
words.
some lovely ribbons
Yes.
and some. And she's gonna like lift up a hat, sections of felt.
Yes.
Oh,
She's just clueless, like just to clarify, but
Yes, there's some felt, some velvet, straw. You know, they're all a rage,
wonderful.
especially now.
Oh, this color would look lovely on Patty. May I?
Yes, of course.
And I'm going to like take probably an extremely expensive piece of ribbon and tie a little bow around
Yeah.
Patty for a collar.
Lavinia is going to show no signs of concern.
show note. Got it. Oh,
I want to propose that this particular ribbon is probably the one that you are the most proud of in your entire collection. That's all.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Pass this to Kate, please.
Yes, so this is a velvet ribbon that I've handcrafted myself.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Well, if you would be interested in perhaps providing some more lengths around this size, I would be happy to buy them to auction off for the Animal Welfare Society. I think it would be an excellent addition. We would, of course, purchase them at store value, and that perhaps could help start off your business.
That would be brilliant. I would love that. Thank you.
I'll make sure that we send along the proper documents and arrangements.
I want to
Excellent.
suggest that
Yeah?
Patty starts chewing the ribbon.
If everyone's all right with it,
I'm okay
that
with
wouldn't
that.
cost you
Yeah,
a result
that's
token.
Okay.
Sweet.
no.
I have a second one.
Oh no, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Patty doesn't like to wear colors, but she's so cute in them.
She really is.
And if you don't have any other intentions for the scene, we can just assume that there's polite conversation.
Perhaps as you're taking your lead, Patrick, taking your
sorry.
leave, Patrick is coming down the stairs.
Oh, Miss Varney. How good of you to make a visit here to Maple Grove.
Yes, Mr. Beaumont. Pleasure to see you.
Are you walking back into town?
I am.
I'm heading that way myself.
Excellent.
Perfect. She won't have to walk alone.
Exactly.
Thank you, Patrick. Good day, Lavinia.
Thank you again.
Or Miss Barney, I probably would say. Whatever's
My
appropriate.
pleasure, Lady Starling. I do. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And off she goes.
She's got like
You're like,
all of these suitcases.
Oh God, I of course offer to assist if that's something that you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
She gives you the heaviest one.
I didn't overhear anything, of course, but what's all this?
Oh, well, you see, I'm planning on opening my own haberdashery in town.
Really?
Yes.
That's something that you've wanted to do.
Yes, for quite some time. I figured, waste not, want not.
I suppose. Is this what you see for yourself in Habershire?
Why, yes.
Oh.
I plan to be the best haberdasherian that I can.
Haberdasher.
Yeah, Patrick
Haberdasher.
kind of takes it back, and he's like,
Haberdasher.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a very. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's not that business is. It's not that I don't like business. Of course, it's not that it pulses me or anything to that effect. I didn't know why you came to Habershire.
Oh, well, now you know.
Yes, I suppose I do. I guess I foolishly thought perhaps when I first saw you, or heard about you coming, that perhaps you were coming back to say hello to an old friend, perhaps meet some new ones. How foolish of me. Of course, you just arrived to try to make some money off the back of the community. A very noble end.
So with this,
I would like to have Lavinia monologue. What are Lavinia's thoughts on
my God.
what he has just suggested she might have been here for instead?
I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
It's too much.
No, it was not. Lavinia is a little bit flustered by this conversation. I didn't know that he couldn't possibly still have feelings. It's been quite some time. And after all, he made his decision and I made mine. We've moved forward. And this is what's best for me. I need to make a name for myself, and that's not in the cards if something were to happen.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
It's not the kindest language for an old friend.
No, it's not.
You're so...
I don't, if I might say so myself, my intention is not to make money off the backs of the community. I just have ambition. That's something that you've known for quite some time.
I want to suggest that one of the servants in Maple Grove has overheard this conversation.
So perhaps if they're making their way into town, they're still on the estate, one of the gardeners could overhear?
Yeah.
How do you both feel about that?
Only if they're an outrageous gossip.
Perfect. I would say that, yeah, they love nothing more than
Let's go.
running to
Oh, Mom, did you
to
just
Lady
hear?
Starling. Oh my goodness.
Lady Starling. Okay, sorry.
All right, so a bearded.
I have more to add before this bearded
Okay.
person
Oh,
Oh,
departs.
it's just somebody nearby, like trimming a topiary.
Hiding behind the topiary.
Yeah,
This is going to be a bit more in like whispered, hushed tones.
they shuffle closer.
Excellent, as they should. You know what I owe to my family. I can't pay off their debts in any other way.
I know. I'm sorry, Lavinia. It was needlessly cruel of me. I simply. If you'll forgive me for being so blunt, I thought that perhaps you had arrived because you had heard of the Lord and Lady Starling, and that perhaps their fortune as well as the manner of the young lord might have been of interest to you. He is a fine young man, and as his sister is a fine young lady.
I'm sure they both are. But I have no interest in marrying someone for money.
I guess
I know I wouldn't be able to anyways if the truth were found out. So
Of course. And you should know I will never let that truth out. It seems I don't know you at all, and even if we haven't seen each other in many years, I just want you to know that I would want you to be happy. And if what will bring you happiness is opening a haberdashery, perhaps there is some use you can find for a poor old overemployed tutor. There's 2 of them. You see, they're quite a handful.
yes, well, anything for an old friend.
If you ever need any assistance, I would be glad to provide.
Thank you.
Do you continue to walk side by side in silence, or does Lavinia leave Patrick here?
I have one of Lavinia's very large bags, so
Do
I
you
have
take it
to
back from
go.
him and- You got here on your own.
It's true. She's gonna take it back from him.
I let it go. I hope to see you again soon.
Can't hold her bag anymore. Let it go. Let it go.
No. I'm sure you will.
Patrick watches Lavinia leave.
Well, you sure messed that up, Patrick. He said in Austinian language.
Well,
Starling.
well, that's not okay. Shall we have Patrick and Elton getting ready for the sporting event?
Oh, yes, of course. How are you feeling, Master Elton? Lord Elton? Woof, sorry. Lord Elton?
I'm not worried about myself. It's Kit. Patrick, I'm worried about them.
You worried about the young Miss Alexander?
Should they participate in the sport, as they've made it very clear, I'm worried they may not participate for the right reasons.
What are the right reasons for participating in sport?
For the love of the game, for the thrill of victory and the sportspersonship in defeat. And yet I feel like they've always got this impression that they have something to prove.
Many people do, Lord Elton. I realize you have grown up in a household where you have never had anything to prove, or at least I hope you've never felt that way. But there are many who see themselves as perhaps beneath you, beneath this household. I gesture around.
Give me your arm. I'll strap your bracer on.
Ow! It's tight. Your letter.
Oh,
Sir.
a silly thing written in a moment of darkness of the soul.
I can recognize your different handwritings. This is not an assignment due the morning of. This is not rushed. This was thoughtful.
Yes. Yes, I suppose I did put a bit of thought into it. I'm gonna just like yank it a little harder so that make sure that it's on there tight.
It sure is. Master Elton, I want you to make the decision that you are going to make. And I will not attempt to sway you in one direction or the other, or in any third direction you may so find. You've always been very clever. I want to warn you.
Lavinia comes from a position of debt. I'm sorry, but Jeebus spoke to everyone. It reached its way to me.
No one is to know.
Ruh-roh.
Jeebus?
Jeebers.
Oh, Jeebers.
You'll never guess what I heard in the garden.
Rumpelstiltskin.
I was trimming the topiary, you see. You'll never guess what I found out.
Jeebers, please. We're at dinner.
Jeebers, slow your roll.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, boy. All right.
No one was to know. This is going to be so embarrassing for her.
Patrick, I feel as if in one hand I have somebody who has stood by a promise made years ago to me, and they've been very clear that they wish to see that promise fulfilled. In my other hand, I see ambition and drive and passion shackled to something I'm not sure I quite entirely understand. And above it all, Mother.
Oh, sorry.
Can I say that, out the window they can see Mother organizing the...
You don't even have to spend a
Yeah.
resolve token for that. I
Yeah.
highly approve.
Yeah,
Okay, well, instead of looking up, I'm going to look
yeah, out the window.
out.
Fretting about the arrangement of the chairs and tables.
You realize that if I marry for love, I would lose everything. What little allowance I've managed to scrape together, the titles would be gone. It's even possible that I'd lose the wealth,
Yes?
Could I have Edith on the other side of the door overhearing this conversation?
What do you both think?
Oh,
I think
bring
John
her-
has
bring
more to
her in.
lose here, so is there a condition to this, or this is exactly what you want Edith to
the
hear?
only condition that I want to put on this is that we don't find out that she was there, at least not immediately. Like she gets away.
Okay,
Great, so you can take one of those back, John.
I'll give this.
Oh,
to
no.
you.
So there's- thank you.
Thank you.
It's this must be an incredibly difficult position for you. Are you sure that your mother would cut you off completely?
My father was always very occupied with duty. And I believe she wants me to be so as well. It isn't as if I don't care about my duty. I obviously do. But I also know that how can I exact my duty if I don't follow my heart? How can I be right and good if I cannot be right and good for myself? I know it sounds awfully selfish. But perhaps I'm just a selfish man. They don't deserve that. And she doesn't either.
There's nothing selfish about wanting to do both your duty to your family and to yourself. And like lacing up his boots.
Well, one way or another, this is all going to come to a head soon, isn't it? Best of luck in the sport.
Thank you. Be sure to listen for the little murmuring. Sometimes it's loudest even when surrounded by others.
Right now, the only murmuring I can hear is your voice.
Oh, I need to cut it there. And also, the song came to an end. It was perfect.
That's perfect.
So.
Yeah.
So you both are all suited up, and you hear a little string quartet start to play outside
Wow.
as guests start to arrive.
Fancy.
For the little cocktail hour of sports before things get really underway.
Welcome, one and all, to the wide world of cocktail sports.
Oh,
Brought to you by Frankie's Hot Dogs.
Oh, Frankie's hot dogs. They're delicious. Can I step away for a second?
of
Do you need me
course
right
you
away?
can.
It's all good. Can I
Oh
get
yes,
it over?
yes you can.
Oh,
Sorry, I was
no.
just thinking. Caroline will at some point find a moment to speak briefly to Lavinia during the events of sporting.
All right. Does Caroline want to say anything about how things are laid out, or it's like pretty standard, like luncheon, picnic,
Yeah.
garden fair?
Yeah, exactly. And there's perhaps a little section with some shading set up for the fair-skinned ladies and those perhaps of greater frailty who shouldn't be too long in the sun.
Yes. And there are plenty of parasols to borrow and things. People can sit under
and
umbrellas.
plenty of
and stuff.
refreshments. Extra help has been hired for the event,
Oh, lovely.
just especially.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I cannot
You
wait
know, she
until
must
the games
contribute to
begin.
the employ of the townsfolk. Yes, yes.
Is there a shrimp tower, perchance?
Of course.
Excellent.
Prawn
No.
Tower.
Prawn tower. Started to go a bit off in the sun.
Yes, we can't call it shrimp
Gross.
tower because then
It's disgusting.
it sounds more petite than it actually is.
Exactly. Oh my god. Thanks for the follow, Nohid. And Lavinia arrives. Does Lavinia walk, or is Lavinia attending with her aunt? Is her aunt attending this particular
That's
party?
a good question. Is her aunt attending?
Do you want her to attend?
Sure.
Oh, she's attending. She may have been finding the aperitifs and the cocktails. Sorry, more like the cocktails. She may be finding.
There's a punch.
There may have been a little too much punch
Oh dear.
already. Not. She's not like falling down or anything, but let's just say that the rouge that she applied needs no help.
Oh my goodness.
Excellent.
Oh no.
Right.
Right?
Would the rumors have spread yet to?
Well, it sounds
Elderberry
like
Ridge?
Patrick and Elton. Well, Elton was told by Jeebers, the gardener, which means it's pretty safe to assume that Lady Caroline Starling also knows.
Okay, but would I know?
I don't know.
Okay.
So
You don't.
Excellent.
Oh,
I will accept that.
snapperdoodle.
Could I just have clarifications on what it was that the groundskeeper let slip?
Yes. So it was the fact that her family is in debt.
Okay.
And was there something else?
It was that you have no interest in marrying someone only for their money, which is actually an interesting thing for Lady Caroline to learn.
that's good.
So bad things,
But-
that she's seriously in debt and has no money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good thing is that she is not if she is interested in marrying anyone, it's not because they're wealthy.
Yeah.
So I don't know what her reaction would be with that, but
No ambition. Jeebers, take her out.
What?
right away, Mum. Yes, Patrick?
No, am I back on?
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you.
Just want to make sure.
Yes, Patrick.
I'm here.
I want to ask. I want to know what Kit wants to accomplish here at this sports day. I want to hear a monologue.
Sports day. Fun
All
day.
right. So as Kit perhaps starts walking onto the grounds, surveying everything before them, their thoughts are of how to best show good sportsmanship but also good skill in such a way that will continue to hopefully endear them in the eyes of Caroline Starling. As there is no hope of snapping fingers and gaining a title. All they can hope is to show themselves of good breeding and good manner.
And incredibly talented at everything.
And
An accomplished person.
Accomplished individual.
perhaps is hoping to, and definitely is hoping to also, having heard that Patrick is excellent at archery, assure that Lavinia perhaps has a front row seat, or to arrange for a context in which Lavinia may see his prowess.
Oh.
He's unaware of
Well,
any other
no, of course,
conversations.
of course.
Whoo, boy, oh boy. Do we want to get straight to the butts?
Les bouts.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Because it's the most important.
What are the butts?
The archery.
Is that a thing?
The archery butts.
Okay.
B-U-T-S.
Oh,
It's French. Yeah, it's French.
I've never heard of this. That's great.
Oh.
I'm
That's the
learning.
target.
Also,
No,
never
it's
heard
good.
of this.
I'm learning.
All right.
That's why people kept mentioning butts.
I wasn't.
We
here.
want you to shoot all over the butts.
I thought-
Yeah,
Lavinia
before
needs a
just
front
making-
row seat for the butts.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You said butts an awful lot. Is anyone hearing this? Okay.
Just pull back and let it go.
I'm pretty good at.
Oh, I need
go.
something more high spirit. Yeah, this one. All right.
All right.
So,
Archery.
someone talk us through this archery competition.
All right. So in the first round, so this is a best of several rounds of archery. You fire 5 arrows at a time, and those with the best score after each round advance. So having the group each time until so there are 3 rounds.
Kind of narrowing the field each time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you or a connection you control are participating.
Oh,
It'll be Edith.
yes.
Okay, love it. So
It's
Edith,
Elton.
Patrick, Elton, and
Kit.
Kit.
Yeah.
Making sure.
Amazing.
Okay. How do we adjudicate this competition?
Everyone's just going to be really honest about their character's skill level.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Not good. I think he's participating in order to be sporting, but he's actually more watching everyone else play.
So you're maybe you're out in the first round.
I think he's out in the first round. Yeah, I
Alright.
don't think that he's embarrassed himself, but I think he hits the target.
It's just that
But
everybody else is very good.
everyone else is, well, at least these two are quite good.
Yes. Who's Lavinia?
No,
Oh, sorry, Edith. Edith. Yes, I'm
Edith?
sorry.
Edith would is just slightly better. In fact, she
No.
might have hit the target the first time to advance to the next round, but then she's out the
Okay.
second round.
So just
And
you and me.
all right, so
Kit.
after several rounds, I mean, even these other no-name characters who were there as filler, they get eliminated too, and we're left with Kit and Patrick.
Kit is decent, but certainly not excellent. And particularly make sure to perhaps aim a little astray if she ever sees Patrick miss a mark. Because if they see Patrick miss his mark, Kit is seeking to have Patrick succeed at this.
So they want to basically give Patrick the win.
Yeah. But
Gotcha.
they're not necessarily good, but they definitely don't want to risk accidentally winning.
Interesting.
Can I have Elton notice their duplicity?
Yes, I think so.
I'm
If
gonna-
that's all right with Kate. Conditions on that?
I'd like Elton to know Kit's character well enough to perhaps be able to understand why Kit would do this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Accepted.
It's funny because Patrick also perhaps wanted to like aim a little astray to give Kit the ability to succeed, but
Every time Patrick goes slightly outside of the set like bullseye, Kit goes like way right at the very edge of the target.
and he's like, okay, well,
So does that mean they're both so eager to not win that somebody else might snatch the win from them?
I think Patrick is excited by sport.
Lavinia. She comes in guns blazing.
Coming in from nowhere. I've never shot a bow in my life.
Several people
several
are killed.
people.
Including Jeebus. Jeebers.
If it is
Definitely.
just down to us two, like, I'm happy to.
It's Jeebers. Jeebus.
God, Jeepers!
Message for you, my lord.
I am happy to win the competition unless there's like thoughts around the table about whether someone else should. I think apparently I'm naturally very good at this, and I will definitely lose the other competitions of the day.
So Patrick wins, and there's some really impressed applause because I think this was a hidden talent of yours.
Thank you.
I had no idea the Mr. Tutor man was so talented at archery.
Well,
Where did you train, young man?
I studied in several places, but specifically the fields of France. They have some. I studied under Monsieur de Tours, who was a wonderful, wonderful trainer.
Oh, yes, I've certainly heard of him. She has not heard
Definitely
of him.
not.
She's just trying to look
Well, Mrs.
cultured.
Marmee, with you looking on, I feel like I could have done anything out there on the field.
Oh, you flatter us, Mr. Beaumont. She putters off for more cucumber sandwiches, I
God.
guess.
Mr. Tutor Man, Mr. Beaumont, you know it.
So sorry.
I'm not defined by my profession.
All right, so there can be more sports happening in the background. But if Kit is keen on participating in all of them, then we can certainly.
They're kind of happening, but in between rounds, right after this, she would like to catch Lavinia briefly.
Oh, so Kit heads over to Lavinia? Okie dokie.
It must have been nostalgic seeing Patrick shoot again.
Now, I realize, just to cut in real quick, I realize I might have alluded to the fact that Lavinia knew he was good at archery, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. Would she have known?
That's a good question. I think so, because I like it came out because you mentioned it. Like, it felt like it came out because you mentioned it, so I think so.
Okay.
But it
I think,
doesn't
I think more
You
when I
know
was, like,
him
away
from
and
another
stuff.
life, you know.
Okay.
But
I
it
just
doesn't-
wanted
Back
to
when I
double
was
check.
badass.
Necessarily mean that you've seen him shoot, so you
This
can
is
feel
true.
free to make Kit look foolish if you wish.
Oh.
Why, yes, it was lovely to see it again.
How have you and he been getting along now that you're back in town? I do hope that you've been able to spend time together.
Oh, just fine. You know, I try to see as many people as I can.
Of course.
I see that you're quite the archer also, Kit.
I've dabbled. I do so love sport.
It's quite impressive.
Could I have Lady Caroline start approaching and Kit like nod and peace out?
Absolutely.
You may have noticed too she was more genuine in her that was impressive remark.
It's nice.
It's weird. I've never seen Kit and Caroline in the same place.
All right, so Kit definitely maybe gives a little nod or
polite
bob
bow.
to
Yeah, of course, everything that is due to Lady Caroline.
Lady Starling.
Lady Starling.
Does Lady Starling notice that Kit is really going out of their way to avoid her?
Yes.
Oh.
But it means that Lady Caroline doesn't have to go through the conversation that at some point, that hopefully she never will, about the fact that she will never be a proper suitor for her son.
Ooh.
Despite all the time they seem to be spending together, She hopes instead to approach that topic through her son. Lavinia.
Yes.
It's so lovely to see you here, Miss Varney.
Thank you. Thank you. You throw a wonderful event.
I must say I am happy to see that you are not dirtying yourself with the efforts of sport.
Oh, I'm
Is
afraid
so. It is so below one of proper station.
I'm just not very apt in that area, I'm afraid.
Oh no, it is quite all right. It's quite all right for you not to participate. I'm sorry to hear about your family.
I'm sorry?
Most unfortunate that you would have to strike off on your own in this way. Though I think it is quite a note of character that you have chosen to make the best of it by starting a business. How very novel.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Ah, it seems they're about to begin the riding. Would you like to join me?
Yes, of course, I'd love to.
Yes.
I would like to know what's going through Lavinia's head right now before we, like, as you're moving towards the riding.
Is there an Austinian way of saying, oh shit, 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 on repeat? Because it would be that.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh
No,
dear.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
How many times can you say fiddlesticks really quickly?
Fiddlesticks, 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 fiddlesticks.
You said it 3 times.
Yeah, right?
Well,
She's also, if I might add one actual real
Certainly.
thing, wondering how it got out.
are you suspicious of anyone in particular?
Yes,
Who?
Patrick.
Yeah. Dear. Why would he do something like this?
Oh,
Do you think he was that hurt by what you said?
Quite
Is he
possibly.
trying to get revenge?
Oh, no.
Quite possibly.
No, why? No, it's no.
Is he after Eldon himself?
I mean, if he is, he can be.
Oh my god. That's awful. Time to ride horses. Who's riding horses?
Oh,
Kit?
so badly. So no, you know what? I probably shouldn't ride a horse if I've never like ridden before. Really.
It'd
No.
be a
Yeah,
really bad
don't.
idea.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna.
There is a physician on call just in
I'm
case.
gonna
Also for the
watch.
horses.
I'm gonna watch them ride.
Elton, you don't want to ride?
Seeing this, Kit makes a point of perhaps increasing the difficulty of whichever jump is closest to wherever Elton is seated.
Yes, Elton?
Do you want to make it go bad?
I want it to be the most brilliant performance
Aw.
anyone's ever seen.
That's kind.
From Kit specifically?
Yeah.
'Kay.
I want Kit or do I want you to totally face?
I mean,
just,
I'm,
like,
I'm,
rip it.
I am good with both. I am game.
I'm gonna let somebody else make the decision.
I mean, there is certainly an option for Kit is so occupied with the idea of making a good impression that maybe they...
They also, like, they're
Their
pushing their
hubris.
horse through a routine that wasn't necessarily practiced. It's definitely a risky move, but Kit is trying so hard.
It works. It's a perfect jump, perfect routine.
All right.
The kind that everyone's gonna be talking about for the rest of the night.
That's so impressive.
Well,
I could never do anything
was
like
very
that
well
myself.
done.
Incredible, Miss Marmee. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I'm flabbergasted.
Such a hoot. Miss Marmee. Mrs. Sorry.
Who's next?
Um,
Oh, sorry.
Miss Alexander, could I help stable your horse?
Oh, thank you for the help. And if we're relatively alone, hopefully, as
Yeah.
You
we're
try to
stabling.
slip away so that, like is Elton kind of hiding behind the horse that people maybe don't see him?
No, I want to make it as like a I'm congratulating them on their performance, and I'm just helping them lead their horse back to where they can tie it up, because I want to have a very quick conversation. I don't mind if people can see that we're having a conversation, but I just don't want other people to be able to hear. Now, I don't know where Jeebers is. Or for that matter, I don't know where Lavinia or Patrick
You
are.
can't see Jeebers.
Okay.
Can you ever see Jeebers?
That was magnificent, Kit.
Thank you.
Can Edith follow?
Yes.
Yes, but like, I don't want Kit to notice until such time as Lavinia Edith. Okay, I still don't want Kit to notice until such time as Edith would, if they choose, make themselves known.
Okay.
It was simply marvelous.
You inspired me.
Well, I confess that I need to ask you a question.
Anything.
Anything.
Anything. I assume that we're like in the stables, so as much as we aren't necessarily entirely alone, we're kind of alone.
I've seen Lavinia and Patrick together.
They do get along so well, don't they?
Did you hear of the rumors that surrounded Lavinia?
No, I'm afraid I haven't.
Okay, so I'm going to briefly fill her in on what those rumors are. Thank you. I'm going to briefly fill in on what those rumors are, and then I want to ask her a question about how she feels about that.
Fair enough.
So I want to like skip over the
Okay, so you fill in Kit and
on the rumors,
and then you ask.
and then I'm going to ask her.
how they feel.
So the
And-
debt, and is there anything about the refusal that I know?
I just mentioned about the debt and how
Okay.
she's struggling
Okay.
as a family. I don't think I actually know that they had a previous relationship. I don't know if that was part of the rumor.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't actually come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was more
Great.
subtext.
So, knowing that, what do you think that I should counsel Patrick on?
Well, he has suitable employment and respectable employment, even once perhaps you are no longer in need of a tutor yourself. I'm sure that you and your family will give him an excellent letter of recommendation, so I don't think he will ever be hurting to at least keep a roof above his head. And she does seem quite industrious, so the two of them could have a perfectly happy, simple life together.
Simple.
Of course.
And do you believe that it would be a good match?
They do seem to have history together, and they seem happy enough when I've seen them talking. Do you think... I realize Patrick is your good friend. Do you think he would be happy with such a match?
That's so sweet. Because I just yelled.
I hope not.
You hope not. You don't wish him happy.
I wish him happiness.
But
And I'm going to look distracted and walk away from the horse.
All right. As you make your way back towards the tent, just a few droplets of rain start to fall. And the guests in attendance look up and start panicking and rush underneath the tents to protect their hairdos and their hats.
And their finery.
I'm going to chase after to make sure that some of the other horses are attended to,
Yeah.
regardless of the rain.
Servants are rushing around and they're collecting the food and just trying to make sure that everything's under cover. It is getting heavier. It looks like it might not let up anytime soon. And I'm going to propose that Lady Caroline needs to make a decision about the event and address the crowd.
we've had an excellent afternoon of it, haven't we? One and all. Fortunately, we cannot control what happens from the heavens, but I would like to invite everyone into the Grand Hall, those who are able to stay, but of course no ill will shall be regarded to any who wish to return, considering this weather sadly doesn't look to be letting up. I will have everyone's carriages brought round who requests it, and our food will be brought into the main hall that was to be served later on.
Oh.
Congratulations, in particular, to Patrick for his outstanding archery, and to Kit for their particular skill at horse riding. And they're... No, fuck it, she's only mentioning those two.
No, fuck it. I don't care about the others.
Nice.
I applaud towards Kit, certainly.
So servants have come out again with umbrellas and are starting to escort people back into the house. Some people are just using their coats and running in. Everyone now has a choice of what they want to do. They can follow Caroline. They can do something else.
I'm looking around for Elton, but I think I actually probably see Edith
Yes.
first.
Yes.
Yeah, what's Edith up to?
Yeah.
Edith has been in the shadows,
Classic Edith.
listening, watching, waiting. So she'll approach you.
Oh, young Lady Edith.
Yes, we must get inside.
Of course, we must. Yeah. Where have you been? I didn't see you out on the field. Oh, other than the archery. Congratulations. It was a good showing.
Thank you. You as well.
Well, I have some experience, as it turns out. Have you seen the young Lord Elton?
No.
He's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, he
I
He's not
haven't.
inside.
Edith's doing this intentionally, I think.
I have not seen him.
Oh. All right. Well, if you do, perhaps you can be sure to...
I haven't seen Mesk Alexander either.
Oh. I see. Well, we want to make sure everyone finds their way back indoors. No one needs to be caught out in the cold. Chills can very much affect people at this time of the year.
Yes, they can.
Mhm.
I should get going inside.
All right. Miss Edith. Lady Edith, whatever. I don't know.
She runs in.
I'm looking around and I'm setting off. I guess they might have gone towards the stable, so that's where I'm headed to.
Okay.
I'm alone out in the field. I've been wandering away from the stables. I'm deep in thought. And now it's raining, so I'm unfortunately my sporting outfit is now
sporting
sopping
outfit.
wet.
Oh, jeez.
Hair plastered to my face and the back as I'm making a show of just trying to help clean things up, but it's clear that I don't even need to be doing that. That's not my job.
I'll hurriedly cross the field and try to take some cover as I find Lord Elton out here. Young Master Lord Elton, what are you doing out here? We must get you indoors.
Patrick,
Yes.
I feel very much as if today is a day of decision.
Is it?
Am I to understand that it is most important to do what's best in marriage? Is it to follow one's heart? Is it to improve one's station? Is it to be charitable?
I have never had any station to rise to, so I could not advise you on that, Lord Elton.
I cannot hear the murmuring of my heart. I can only hear you tell me what I am to do.
Lord Elton, I have come to understand that perhaps there is an attachment. You have inferred it already. There is perhaps an attachment between you and someone else here in Havershire.
Perhaps.
Do you feel the same way today that you did when you made this attachment?
Perhaps. But I don't know what she has to teach me. They have to teach me.
Life is all about learning. And
It is, isn't it? I'm gonna drop to one knee.
Lord Elton, what?
And it's like raining like around me. I have not taken shelter. You might be in
Yeah.
shelter, but I have not taken shelter.
Sir, you will catch cold. Please.
Patrick. Miss Alexander is very fine. And they do care for me, and I do care for them. And it has been so long since we made our arrangement. But who has been by my side this entire time? When they spoke of how once I no longer need a tutor, that there'll be a letter of recommendation in that for you, I only thought about how I couldn't bear to lose you. My duty is nothing compared to the knowledge that could fill me if it were only you who would agree to take my hand in marriage.
Lord Elton, is just as well that you ask me here and now, because if I were offered a letter of recommendation and sent on my way, I don't think I'd be able to leave Maple Grove. Of course I accept. Let us... Oh,
I would like
Yeah.
Kit to have just arrived within hearing range.
Oh, no!
yes,
I mean, yes.
Is
but
everyone all right with this?
Yes.
Excellent.
No.
I would like a monologue from Kit, if that's all right.
Oh, dear.
Kate,
Yes.
thank you.
I mean, I don't know whether there are words formed.
I still haven't chosen.
oh,
Down on one knee.
I know.
I never saw this coming. Kit was so fixated on trying to get Lavinia out of the picture. And Patrick had always sort of just been there as an employee. There was no consideration of more than a mentor-student relationship. Kit also feels very ill-used that, considering their long-standing engagement, that Elton would propose without first calling off the pre-existing engagement.
I know.
That is a very gauche.
I know.
I love it.
Kit is going to run directly towards their horse that they did the riding competition on, regardless of whether or not that will expose their having come within proximity. The intent is to ride home, crying.
Do I see this happen?
Yeah, do we see this happen?
Do you?
Do you?
Would Kit like you to have seen it?
Whatever causes the most drama.
I think yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to snap my head up as soon as I hear they're galloping away. Kit, no!
Lord Elton, you didn't. It wasn't with Miss Alexander.
Just rain.
I'd like to take Lord Elton's hand. I think it is time for you to tell me if you've been keeping any secrets.
I want to move my head closer to Patrick's. Closer, as if I'm either about to whisper a secret or steal a kiss. And then look away. And then run back to the stables.
The stables, not the house.
Oh yeah, the stables.
Okay.
So I'm left in the rain. I think I understand that Lord Elton just needs some time to be alone. And I think that is what he is going to do, is to be alone. So I'm going to trudge back towards the house. Although my constitution is strong enough that I feel like I can stop on the way and like kick some stones into the pond. Just kind of look at it in confusion.
I'd like Lavinia to still be like outside, like she got stranded somewhere in the rain.
Help! I'm stuck in the mud. Like, stranded.
Yeah, just like she's like under something.
Oh,
but
but
like
she can't get. Oh,
she
yeah,
can't
of course.
because it's still raining.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like a willow tree that
Yeah.
like you can see out one side, but the people who are
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Absolutely, of course. I thought that was Elton, but I'll take it. Well, I guess I see Lavinia then. Miss Varney,
Mr. Beaumont,
you haven't made your way back inside.
haven't been able to. I'm stuck under this tree.
I take my coat, which is soaked, and try to offer it as like an umbrella of kinds.
Oh, now you want to be cordial.
What? What?
After that,
After what?
I told you my secret, and you just went and told everyone.
Lavinia, I would never share that secret with anybody. I understand how much it means to you to have escaped your family and made a better life for yourself here. I would never.
Then how does she know? How does Lady Caroline know?
Can I start passing by as I'm like galloping on the horse?
Are you
I
going
got
after
another
Kit,
horse.
or are you going
It
back
looks
to
like
the
I'm
house?
going after Kit, but I'm going to pull up when I see these two arguing.
All right.
Okay.
If it's all right with these two,
Yeah.
it's all right with me.
I don't know, and all I can do is try to make things right. God. All I've ever done is make things worse.
Miss Varney,
Lord Elton?
Miss Varney, for someone who does not wish to be prejudged, you certainly do a disservice to my fiancée.
She's just gonna...
I faint into the mud. Like, I'm out.
Oh no!
Like, I'm absolutely out that you just said that. Just for a moment.
And if
I'm
you
back
are
out.
to put the words of an ill-mannered gardener into the mouth of the smartest man I know, then perhaps you should stick to your ribbons and hats. After all, it seems like piecing things together is what you do best, isn't it? And I'm going to swing off the horse. I'm going to lift the unconscious.
Oh, I'm like kind of like swoony, that's the one. So I'm just kind of like, oh.
I'm going to lift the unconscious Patrick into my arms.
Love it.
Swing myself back onto the horse.
That's really impressive.
That's very impressive.
Look, there's
Or
something
do you
I'm
kind of
good
like
at.
throw him over the horse
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
climb
take
up
a half
basically.
second. I'm not there. I take a half second. I don't care.
Yeah.
Caroline from the window. She's like,
And I'm
Damn.
going to slowly trot. I'm going to slowly trot back towards the stables, having perhaps been forced into my choice.
That's the perfect way you want an engagement to begin. I guess I've been forced into my choice. Oh my god. All right. Well, I think we need to snap back to Kit here.
Snap back to reality.
Yep.
Whoop.
Kit's just riding with no particular destination.
I so didn't make the right choice.
You get to be with me.
Yeah.
Is it a ride to like get away or
Yeah.
or
Get away.
do they have a new plan, a new goal in
I
mind?
think trying to figure one out. but
Yeah.
one hasn't formed yet.
Because this whole time, Kit's been nothing but like plan after plan after plan, and they've been so on it. And
All completely caught off guard. I think at some point she will realize that Lavinia must also be heartbroken by this outcome. And so plan to call upon Lavinia perhaps tomorrow.
what's Lavinia off to do?
Lavinia's been stuck.
Oh, you're still stuck, hey?
She's just going to, after that terrible berating, not show her face at the manor, and we'll just walk back
What have I done?
to Elderberry.
May I? Molly Alexander, Kit's aunt, was also at the event. Didn't see Kit leave, and is just in the process of leaving, and she would like to insist that you accept a ride from her.
She'll accept, yeah.
I think that's how that works.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that anybody would like to do on this day?
Catch cold?
All right, Kit catches cold.
No.
I strongly feel that
Hey,
Patrick
you.
should also catch cold, given as you fainted into the mud.
Yeah.
So you're probably quite
I'm
sure.
gonna
Oh
need
no,
a
they're
result
both
to-
caught cold?
No, no. It's fine. You don't need to.
Hey,
Why can't I just have them
You were
both?
trying to cross the border.
Hey, horse thief.
Yes. finally awake.
Okay, well, I thought I was strong of constitution, but it turns out this illness is
Well,
racking my body.
You know, it was more than your body that was racked.
Ayo.
Transfer.
But yeah, I've taken ill.
It's not that bad. It's just a little bit of a sniffles.
Oh, okay, well that's
yeah,
fine.
not like dying.
Oh, okay, good. Is Kit? No, I'm just kidding.
What? Holy shit!
Whoa! No.
Okay.
What? No, I don't want that. I don't.
I'm out of tokens. I can't do
Oh
it.
no!
You can.
No. I'm out of tokens. That's fair.
Well, we're getting into the conclusion, y'all, but I mean, before we get into the epilogues and everything, if there are any scenes that you really want to do, anybody that you want to speak to.
I need to call upon Kit.
And I need to attempt to offer my apologies to Miss Varney.
All right. So let's start with Patrick.
All
Sniffly.
sniffly. I'm gonna. It's a nice day now, but I'm going to make my way up the walk to Elderberry Ridge, and calling in at.
Lavinia is going to be like tending the garden.
Right.
At Rose Hill Cottage.
Right, at the cottage, exactly. So, like, finding out that there's actually a cottage, and I didn't
Yeah.
know about it. It's, like, around the back, and I, like, go down there. Hello. Good morning.
She like gets up and dusts her like dress off. Good morning.
I, don't have much of a green thumb myself, but this looks beautiful.
Thank you.
You have a real talent, Miss Varney.
I'm sorry for blaming you.
It made sense.
I should have known better. We've been friends for years. I should have known that to trust you.
And I should have been able to tell that your intentions in coming here were to, as you say, make a name for yourself, and that is no bad thing. I have had the fortune to move in circles that have been wonderful for me, and you have not. But now that you have arrived here, I hope that you can find it in your heart to make Habershire a home.
So, engaged, are we?
Are you wearing a ring?
You
You went like this, so I was just.
Yeah.
I think we
I
should
mean,
establish.
No, I don't know what the historical context of that would be.
Oh,
Probably
we're
not. before
ignoring
marriage.
historical
Oh, okay.
context right now.
Oh, just more about, like-
Would Elton have presented you with one?
Ah, I see.
Yes.
Was it
Weird, it's a
always
bit too
intended for
large.
Patrick?
No. rough. Yeah, it's a bit too big for my fingers.
Big.
The kid has athletic
has-
hands, right?
yeah.
Athletic fingers.
Big
You
hands.
know what they say about kids with big hands?
Yikes.
What?
Elton, I think you may have surpassed Brahm.
There's an angry owl in the chat.
Oh, I love it. Sorry.
Indeed.
That's great. I'm happy for you.
I was so blinded with trying to set people up with Lord Elton. I knew how much of a catch he was. I just never thought of him for myself.
Well, good. I really am happy for you.
Thank you. The wedding will be in the spring, I have no doubt, if we can secure all of the necessary arrangements. I'm looking to get some new hats.
Are you? I know just where you can get some. In fact, I have a couple now that you can come take a look at if you like.
Really? I do so wish to look like a gentleman at my own wedding.
You will.
Aww. So that seemed to go very well for the two old friends. Time to see what the ex-fiancé's conversation has
Probably should have
in
started over
store.
there, eh?
So it's my intention to visit Kit while they're recovering from their illness.
Yes.
Oh, Lord Elton.
Kid is sitting up, but not like sitting on the, like perhaps a couch rather than a chair, somewhere that implies less, you know, fortitude. Somewhere you wouldn't necessarily sit when you were having a guest, especially someone so highly esteemed.
Of course.
I'm going to stand there with my hat in my hand.
Do you bring anything to Kit?
Original.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a care basket, maybe?
Yeah, I've brought lots of food, especially food that I know they like, hearty food, so that they can recover well. And
Maybe some good chicken soup.
oh yes, and I've also made sure that there's some money
You tucked money into the basket?
in case they need.
Oh my god.
Well, I feel so responsible.
So are you essentially
insulting.
bribing your ex-fiancé?
I am really not proud of what's happening right now.
Should have asked your tutor, buddy.
So is the money like on top of everything?
No,
or is
no,
it
no,
like
no.
hidden
It's like
inside a banana
there's
or
like an
something?
envelope
Okay.
with a bit of money. It's not a lot of money. It's enough money to like help a doctor come by and tend to them. Not
Right.
It's not like I'm buying an estate for them or
Okay.
anything like that.
Right.
You could have hired a doctor.
You know what? That's a better idea. Let's say that's what happened.
I would like for Patrick to have convinced Elton to have done that instead.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Thank you, Becca.
I'm gonna put money in the. Anyway, yeah, I was like, that scene plays out again.
Kit, before Elton's visit, you were visited by an excellent physician.
By 3 spirits.
Who you know works frequently at Maple Grove Estate.
Fixing Edith's broken bones.
There will be no public shame for what transpired, for no one knew of our arrangement.
Miss Alexander, I am a fool.
You are. I simply hope that you find happiness. That your love doesn't yet again fade after a few years' time. Assuming my recovery, I will be spending another season in London, so I will have to give my apologies for not making it to your wedding.
Do you believe in duty, Miss Alexander?
What duty do I owe you? I did my best to follow the duty of our engagement.
I speak not of that duty, Miss Alexander. I speak of another. The duty of title, of house, of peerage.
I assume your mother is none too happy? As fond as she seems to be of Patrick, he is not exactly the ideal rank for your match.
I couldn't bear to see her wrath upon you.
Yet you can bear to see it upon Patrick.
Patrick has more experience with Mother. He's been around for a long time.
Please don't make excuses.
You're right.
Promise me this.
For what worth a promise I could make to you?
You will speak to me before you end any relation with Patrick. Can't let you break another heart. Over a whim.
Of course. Kit, of course.
The doctor will be here shortly. Is there anything else?
No, Miss Alexander. That is all.
Thank you kindly for taking time out of your day to pay me a visit, Lord Starling.
Rest well.
Thank you.
Swift recovery. For everything. And I leave.
Hey.
Does Kit do anything when they're left alone?
That's a good story, guys.
Just a deep old soul sigh.
Continue on their embroidery. Do you feel comfortable revealing what Kit's been working on this whole time?
I don't know if you can read it. I'm gonna tweet it. It's
Yeah.
so
Tweet us a
good.
photo, and if
No,
not,
I'm gonna
we'll...
stick it in our Discord.
Hey, join the
Y'all
Discord.
should join our Discord. We'll get to that later.
Well.
Thankfully, while convalescing, I've had time to make this.
I like the idea that Kit is just like quietly sewing this whole scene with Elton,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
at the end, Kit
Yeah.
just turns to the camera and goes like this. Well, everybody, unless there's anything else anyone desperately wants to do, I think we're going to enter our final
I have
chapter.
one last thing.
Yes,
I wanna
what would
do.
you like to do, Lavinia?
I would like to have Lavinia, having heard that Kit has taken ill, she would like to drop in.
Oh, that's nice.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
Let's do that.
What track do I use for this? Let's do this.
That's what's happening afterwards. Don't worry.
Kit will definitely make an effort to look as well as possible. Perhaps didn't mind looking pitiful to.
Sorry.
Well done.
Lavinia,
Hi, Kit.
thank you so much for visiting.
Yeah, of course. I brought you some bread.
Thank you.
I thought it would maybe help soothe your recovery.
That is much appreciated. I find this visit fortuitous. I will be spending a season in London shortly, hopefully, pending my recovery. But before I go, I did want to say that our family business would be happy to offer you our best rates on any materials that you could need for your new business, if that would be of interest to you.
Wow. Yes, that would be wonderful. Thank you. I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving.
I think some time in the city might do me good.
Of course. Well, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to visit at some point.
Absolutely.
Perhaps we could even be good friends.
I would like that dearly. Would you like to see my needlepoint?
Oh, it's very nice.
And they both do this.
Cheers at little teacups.
And shall we fade to black on the cheersing of the teacups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to fade to white. That implies an ascension.
It goes out to the sun, and then there's like out the window where it's sunny, and then
Yeah. Last call for any scenes.
I dare not.
I dare not.
In that case, we are going to move on to our final chapter, which is, the letter writing chapter, epistolary, except in this case, it's the epilogue chapter, where one at a time, everyone's going to give a little epilogue for their major character. And if you want to say anything about the connection you were controlling, I feel like it's allowed too, but not necessary. Want to start us off, Patrick?
Sure. Well, Molly was perhaps one of the people who suggested, along with Kit, that that Molly work quite closely with Lavinia and her new business. Turns out, new money likes more money and wants to continue kind of making more local connections. And something about their carriage ride home from the estate that one time, they just became fast friends, or at least fast, business partners.
That's wonderful.
Patrick is over the moon to be able to go traveling once again around about England, sort of taking in the sights, seeing the various countrysides, pointing out various trees and flowers and fauna, fauna to the Lord Elton. And he's very happy to have someone with whom he can speak frankly and candidly about all the things they saw that day, and from whom he can learn about a different perspective on the world at night when they lay their heads on their bed. Or whatever. That's me. That's my epilogue. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that good? Did I nail it?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Lavinia?
Yeah, so with the help of those around town, Lavinia has managed to open her own haberdashery, of which she still sources her materials from Molly Alexander's tailor. And she's doing quite well for herself. Still living in Rose Hill Cottage, but on the up and up. And she, if it makes sense, has been keeping in touch with Kit in London and is planning for a visit at some point.
How about Edith?
Oh, so I was going to wait for Edith until after Jon went.
We'll wait on Edith then. Jon.
It's wonderful to be able to make that leap for love. And yet, even with all of the lessons that they teach each other, even with the words they exchange as their heads rest on pillows opposite, every once in a while at night, when he can't sleep, and instead of waking Patrick, he steals out to a horse and rides halfway towards where he knows there's someone else. But knowing that he doesn't deserve them, he always turns back.
big move.
Christine Varney helps out in the shop. Every once in a while, it's suspected that the tea that she's drinking may have a bit too much of a scent to it, but at the same time, you could not find a more enthusiastic salesperson.
Kit? Or do we want, do we need any more info for Edith?
So, my question with Elton is, does he inherit the estate?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
What
it's
is
a
his
really
other
important
thing?
question.
Caroline cannot bring it. She's so fond of Patrick that she cannot completely disinherit Elton, and instead chooses to split the estate, which she realizes is damaging to the estate by dividing.
She can do what she wants.
Dividing the property in half and
She
such.
did.
But ultimately, yeah, she can't completely disinherit him, but she also can't let it go unpunished because that was. It's also for the sake of face.
I should have let you sink.
Ouch!
What the hell?
So Edith, having inherited half, or will inherit half the estate, is setting her sights now on perhaps other things than marriage right away.
Oh,
She wants to travel a little bit and do what young people do before settling down.
Yeah, blow the entire inheritance.
right.
And Kit, what do they do?
Kit, for the first time, has a friend with whom they can be honest because they've been sitting on a secret for 3 years. As painful as the outcome was, it's also a huge weight off of their shoulders. They haven't sworn off love, they've just sworn off secrecy surrounding it. So they move towards being more open about their feelings and sentiments. And yeah, choose. Though they return to London, there are certain spots where they take the extra long way around to avoid the spots where they and Elton perhaps first held their romance.
I suck.
Yay.
Yay!
This is so good. That was great.
So
We have to name it, right?
Yeah.
that was Good Society, and now we have to name this novel. And I think this should be a collaboration between us and the chat. If anybody has any ideas.
I have a suggestion.
Scott, what is
I
your
don't-
suggestion?
Well, it's been occurring to me, but I do feel like it applies equally to most of the characters. I would like to suggest something along the lines of a lifelong education, which feels very Austinian to me, and I know it's a tutor thing, but like it's also, I feel like we've all been like kind of learning throughout the
a
novel.
lifelong education.
The horses of something. The horses of Hampshire. But yeah, please, like, chat, jump in on this as well.
I feel like Aragorn's gonna have an idea, so I am gonna wait a little bit longer.
A change of heart.
Changes of
heart.
hearts.
Yeah.
Total eclipse of heart. Sport and expectation.
Oh.
Sport and education.
Sport and education. These are good.
I mean, does everyone have a favorite? Say what your favorite is, from what you've heard so far. Ambition and ambiguity.
Wow.
Ooh, I like it.
Elucidation and education.
Yes! I was trying to think of a good E word.
Ooh, I like it.
John, what's your favorite?
I like elucidation and education.
Yeah.
you know.
I think
Yeah.
I'm there as well. I think
Yep,
I'm with it.
yep,
We're
I'm
in
down.
it? In it to win it?
Yeah, well done,
Boom.
Artemis. Elucidation and education is the name of the novel. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it was fun. Kate wanted Kit to fail.
Oh.
Oh,
Kit was so sad.
the
Miseducation.
miseducation of little Lord Starling.
That's also pretty good, actually.
Subtitle.
A comedy and then a tragedy in 3 acts.
So, I mean, I know.
I'm going to applaud Liz.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
thank you.
super well
I'm
like
applauding all
crafted
of
and stuff. I
you.
think that was.
What you didn't see was just how much work Elizabeth put in the character creation, where a lot of the character dynamic that we had was already set.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and she asked some excellent questions during character creation, even today before we started game. Like, you really helped us flesh out our characters and our relationships.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel like
crushed it.
I know that we didn't necessarily want to discuss on stream. Where do you think would be a good place, like in the Discord, to sort of like chat details about how the story went down and stuff?
Definitely chat in the
Elizabeth.
Discord.
you should take an RPG clinic at some point.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I might be able to even take this week's potentially.
What I was
That'd
thinking
be
of,
Thursday.
as John referred to, and I just
Unless you have.
if people are interested in the game, I think I just want to put this out there. That's a really cool mechanic. Your character is built based on desire cards, which are public knowledge, like amongst the players, and relationships that are then given from and to other major PCs, but also connections that you are asked, like that are created and then are played by others. It's really.
I think we can reveal them.
Yeah. You wanna do
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
I
it's
think
gonna
so.
be- it's gonna be
Eric's
fast
right.
and-
Let's add that channel. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
add
we
that
have-
channel for sure.
Or at least
but
for now. Anyway.
it won't take long to
We'll
reveal
eventually have more
the
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be quiet.
the
for now.
desires, especially. Scott, you want to
Yeah,
start us
just
off
because
again?
I think it's such a cool idea to have a motivation built into your character. Patrick's desire was to orchestrate at least one marriage between people of his choosing,
I mean, you
which
sort
is
of
hilarious because I feel like I was aiming for it and then got kind of blindsided by Lord Elton, but just so happy, which is great.
And did you have a relationship?
Did I give one or did I?
Did you, like the one that you are holding?
Yes, I received mentor, both public and private mentor of Lord Elton Starling.
I had the desire of come into substantial wealth while ensuring your reputation stays absolutely impeccable.
Bam.
Oh. And then I had from Patrick, from Scott here, friends, but also an old flame. That was the secret on the back, or the private one on the back.
Kate?
I had marriage is indeed a maneuvering business. Publicly, we were just friends, but my desire was to marry my secret fiance.
Which was great how that came out. That was beautiful.
And I was rivals with Lavinia due to a same dress mishap at a ball.
So while that never actually came out, it was an undercurrent throughout the whole
Yeah, there's
thing.
an incredible
It was
rivalry
great.
here, and we're all just like,
Why we became friends?
And John.
So my quote was, "Selfishness must always be forgiven, you know, because there is no hope of a cure. My desire was to receive proposals from or make successful proposals to at least 2 eligible individuals, marry one, and discreetly farewell the other."
I mean, in the end, it was a discreet farewell,
Yeah,
right?
It
Like the
wasn't-
only
it was
person who
never
Sure was.
public.
And me.
My relationship was that I was acquaintances, but secretly a fiance for Kit. Who, incidentally, I apologize. I know I misgendered
That's
Kit a couple of
okay.
times.
We have grown up in a world that uses gender binaries. We're all working to unlearn that, and language is such a fucking tricky thing.
Oh,
that, it's
I also-
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice,
It
practice,
shows
practice.
me though, because I was thinking of this because we created characters a week ago, and I was thinking about this for the whole week, not knowing your pronouns.
Yeah, I
So
apologize
it's
for
no.
Yeah.
That the whole point is that you do apologize. It
Yeah.
was me being like, I always was thinking of you with a certain
Yeah.
pronoun, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
oops.
Yeah.
So like that's a lesson that I
Well,
gotta
running
learn
this
better.
whole
Good one.
game subverting or just discarding gender norms was really interesting because in some tweaks were easy to do, surprisingly. and I noticed even Kate once, without thinking, said, "Oh, and there's a tent put up for the fair-skinned ladies," and because we just don't think about it, and so it was like a constant.
Yeah.
Like trying to remember and stay a few steps ahead, but it can be done. It can be done. Relationships do not have to be heteronormative. They don't even have to be monogamous. But for a one shot, there were only so many
Factors.
so many factors that we could give ourselves. This is a really, really great game. Huge shout out to Storybrewers RPG, Good Society. You can buy the hard copy from them, but you can also buy their PDFs. And this game, they say so themselves, is designed to be run over several cycles. They say usually it's 3 to 8 cycles, and what we did tonight was a condensed single cycle game.
Yeah.
So we definitely ran a much more condensed version than is recommended, but I think that still worked really well, and that's a testament to
I can see
everybody working so well
really
together.
getting space to like expand.
Yeah.
The content of these cards isn't available in the PDF copy that we quickly looked over when we were learning the rules, and my god, they add so much. I was like, okay, this is cool, and like the book is excellent, the art is excellent, which is where I took everything that you see around us, but the content, the little seeds that are in these cards give you so much fuel to make amazing stories. So,
And marvelously illustrated.
It's beautifully illustrated, and there are some wonderful, like, if Jess's character, for example, was the socialite, and there are like entire chapters devoted to really fleshing out your character. There are chapters about what life was like in Regency England, so you can find out how a ball would have been run, how dinner service would have been handled in an estate, you know? And it's really, like, just really, really well done.
Shout out, just speaking of like adding depth and flavor and so on, like shout out to Kate as well for the, sorry, I'm like reaching into your square here. That's so cool. For designing the overlays for tonight and like kind of handling.
Yes.
Lifted entirely from the book. I didn't make any of the art, I just moved it around.
Just beautiful though. I think it looks really nice. Yeah.
Crosshair mentioned it. We need to say, Jess, you were amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me these last 3 weeks.
Perhaps
been
we'll see you again.
lovely.
Miss Varney.
I'm
Stab me in the
shipping.
back anytime.
I'm shipping Kivinia personally.
Oh.
I don't know about anybody else.
That'll be for chapter 2 or book 2.
The sequel, yeah, exactly.
Sequel. Thank you, Aragwen and the Crosshair, for being amazing mods.
Oh, I missed it.
As always.
They'll wear the same dress.
What is this week looking like, folks?
Oh god, there are things happening this week. Stay tuned to Discord and Twitter. I think specifically or excitingly, there's Nancy Drew on Wednesday.
That's right.
There may be RPG Clinic on Thursday. Potentially, if you're interested in like.
Yeah, if you want to go from Wednesday to Sunday.
Oh my god, it's true.
Over day.
We got. I don't know if there's other streams around the table. Got, the finale of the main story of Horizon Zero Dawn on Friday. I don't think
Before
there's
we begin the DLC.
Before we begin the DLC, I don't think there's a Saturday from me or from Liz, so potentially that can be picked up.
I mean, if I'm there, I will have kitten.
Well, that's a stream right there.
Potentially.
Just point the camera
I'm
at
just
the
going to
kitten.
point the camera at the kitten and leave, and y'all can watch him for 2 hours.
You will just get rich.
I mean, I might stream at some point this week, but I'm not sure when. I would love for you to take RPG Clinic to talk about your experience facilitating this game. But I don't know. I still have, like, Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
And I also now Super Mario All-Stars is on the Switch, and I mean, and then when the 18th rolls around, then there's going to be the re-release of Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. So that might be a thing.
And on the
Who knows?
23rd,
I
there'll be
might
a
stream.
2-player honk.
Oh shit! Well, no, it might be honks. It might be honks.
Yeah.
Press Y to honk.
In 1 week's time, though, you can join us right here on twitch.tv/RPGClinic for episode 0, sort of a pre-session finishing kind of character creation, introducing the world, relationships, etc. of our first campaign, our first season, Star Wars Reach, right here on this channel. And I'm very excited. I don't know if there's more that I want to or can say about that, but join us for that episode 0. I imagine it's going to be some cool content. Pew!
I think that's
Saw
everything.
fairies.
Do we have anything else we needed to say?
Thanks for the follows and the
Yeah.
bits.
Oh my god, yeah, so
and
much
the
donations
everything,
and things.
folks.
Thank you guys.
For supporting this channel as it's migrated into a full-on RPG branded clinic extravaganza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
More and more each
8:55.
time. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll have some cool stuff to show you soon.
Yeah. A tip of the hat to all of you. Have yourselves a merry evening or morning if you're the crosshair. And we'll catch you on the flippity floppity.
He's out.
Die, missed it!
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye!